What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back, Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. All right, guys, sorry I'm late. Tyrone, Remy, first up. What's good, Remy? Jackal, what's good? Yeah. You like the background? You like the background, Jackal? Damn, man, let's doggone green screen. There we go. Let me adjust that right quick. All right, there we go. Sunshine. We in the sunshine. Yo, D, I'm gonna make some time and smoke one. Listen, I'm always in your thoughts. Matters a little bit switch from boxing. Never hurts for me to switch once in a while. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. Top legacy. So guys, look, let me put this link in the chat right quick. Just in case I don't come up for this discussion. What's up, Iceman? Iceman in the building. What's good with you, buddy? All right, yeah, man. So here's a something that I wanted to talk about because a lot of people, man, look, it's a lot of people online right now, guys, spend a lot of time on here, uh, because there's some missing in their relationships, right, with their mates, and I just say mates because I don't get into anybody's deal or whatever, but it could be a man and a man, or a woman and a woman, or a heterosexual relationship, what have you. I'll just say mates, spouses, companions, whatever you want to call it. I'll just say mates. And the thing is that a lot of people have, issues with their mates. And you get 2, 3 years in, 4 or 5 years in, sometimes it's longer for people. And they wonder to themselves, is this the right person for me? And if you get to that point, if you spend 4, 5, 6 years with somebody, and you get to the point and you say, is this the right person for me? Well, there's another question you should ask yourself. Before you ask yourself, is this the right person for me? Maybe you should ask yourself, well, who's the problem? Is it you? Is it them? Or is it both of you guys? But then you would have to determine, if it's actually both of you guys, because I think that a lot of people, if they took time to look within themselves first, they would see that a lot of problems in their relationship starts with them. And you hear a lot of people down the line say, "You're not who you used to be." Maybe they were always that person. You just didn't take the time to figure out who that person was before you decided to jump in a relationship. Maybe they've always been that person, but in the beginning, the sex was so great, you neglected all of these things that you started noticing down the line. You know, maybe it's you, maybe it's not them. And these are the things that we have to think about when we think about our spouse and a relationship. And if there's issues, we got to think, who's the problem? Is it you? Is it them? Is it both? Because a lot of the times, like I said, guys, at least half the problem will be already kicked out if you look in the mirror. But you have to hold yourself accountable, and you have to accept the things that you may have done wrong, or the things that you may have decided on, or the things you may have missed because the sex was so good. And that's the thing, is a lot of people miss a lot of things in the beginning, things that they totally don't tolerate, that they wouldn't go for, that they don't like. But the sex is so good, they go, oh, that ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. Oh, that ain't nothing. But all of these little small things, there's nothing in the beginning, compiles over a period of time. And then later down the line, when it's not all about the sex, you look at this person and you say, is this the mate that I really want? But you have to understand, for 3 or 4 years, that's the mate that you chose. Then you ask that question again. Is it them or is it you? Because as you start analyzing these things and asking these questions, I can guarantee you're going to find out how much it's you. Everybody's willing to point the finger and not hold themselves accountable and say what that person is doing wrong in the relationship or what that person is doing wrong in the relationship. But people are a lot less willing to look in that mirror and say, hey, what am I doing wrong? Oh, what is it that I've done? What choices did I make? What did I overlook? What didn't I? Here's something that people don't do in relationships, cause things to go wrong. What didn't I nip in the bud early? Right? Early in these relationships, like you don't like your spouse leaving and at least not letting you know where they go. I mean, for safety purposes, just as you want to know, maybe you may have some plans. Maybe you just think it's courteous. Just hey, if you leave and let me know. No, you don't own them, but you don't like that. But in the beginning, they kept leaving. They didn't let you know. They kept leaving. They didn't let you know. You never even expressed it. You never said anything to them. You never bothered to mention them that you don't like that. Well, had you took it upon yourself and mentioned that to them in the beginning, maybe you could have established something that wouldn't have caused you problems later, right? And then if you think about it, yeah, I did used to let them get away with that. Know better. No, you should have told them. And so it's all of these kind of things, you know. Second thing with relationship is lack of communication. You know, people don't know how to talk to each other, especially when they're angry. You know, spouses don't want to speak to each other. They just want to the silent treatment. You guys know. What a silent treatment can be just as deadly or detrimental as any big blowout argument because you're compounding the problem. And without the communication of what the problem is, there's often a misunderstanding. Often what's going on when you got this silent treatment. One person is thinking this person did this because of this reason, and the other side is thinking something totally different. You guys have never communicated. There's been often times where one person may have took offense to what the other spouse did, and then they found out later that that spouse did this for them. And then they feel horrible, and they say, "Well, why didn't you just tell me?" And that would have never happened. Why didn't you just tell me? So there's a lack of communication. Now you guys just spent 3 days mad at each other for a gift, something that was supposed to make you guys happy and come together, and you spent 3 days angry with each other. What? Lack of communication. So, you know, first to start it out, we don't look within ourselves first. We don't look in that mirror and we say to ourselves, what is it that we could have done to potentially make things different, right? In this relationship. And then we have a failure to communicate with each other. Hold things in, we're angry about something. You know, you're laying in the bed, you're angry about something your wife did yesterday. You didn't tell her yesterday. And she doesn't even know or have a clue that she did anything to you yesterday. But you're angry about that. And so you're laying in the bed, you're watching sports, and she wants to come and have sex. You're like, nah, man, go ahead. Now you're angry at her, and she want to come and have sex. You're angry at her, but she didn't even know because you failed to communicate to her what the issue was. So 2 nights go by and you guys are talking, but you guys never talked about what you were angry about while you watched the game and why you denied her sex. Because you were angry, but you didn't talk to her about that. You just kept watching the game. So over the next 2 days, you know, it goes by, y'all talking, everything's cool. So she's watching Lifetime. And then you go into bed. Now you want to fool around. She's like, oh, get off of me. Now you got an attitude. She just gave you what you just gave her a couple of days ago. You don't even know why she's mad. Now you mad because she don't want to give you none. Failure to communicate. Have both of you guys communicated at any point in time, there would have never been that misunderstanding. See, this is something else that caused these ripples in these ways in a relationship. Now, again, when both of them look in the mirror Either of them could have stopped that. They wouldn't have had to get to day 4 if either of them decided to communicate with each other. So they can both look themselves in the mirror and say, what did I do? It's always a thing of who's the problem? You, them, or both. So that's a situation where they both can be the problem. And it's because there's a failure to communicate, right? Communication is the key. You have to express what it is you don't like. You have to express the things that you do like. You know why you have to express the things to your spouse that you do like? Because if it's a spouse that you're supposed to be with, then they're going to give you more of those things. Any man that loves his wife and his wife expressed to him what she likes, he said, oh, okay, I know she likes that. He really loves his wife, then he's going to give her more of those things. So you do need to express the things that you do like with your spouse. You also need to express the things that you do not like so that we don't have this lack of communication. You need to do it all early and often so you don't go years and months by and sweeping things under the rug as Ty Legacy said, and then these things build up. And now 2 or 3 years go by and your spouse is doing 10 things that you don't like because during the whole 3 year span, you never mentioned it. It was your failure to communicate that you don't like those 10 things. Now y'all having a little spout and you want to let all of that out. I don't like when you do this. I don't like, but you never told her that. You may have yelled at her sometimes, but you never told her that. You never expressed these things. Lack of communication. And so let me drop this link back in the chat anyway. Up there, let me see what we got. Oh, my gosh. Remy 22, JD, IBT, what's up with you? Ty Legacy back, Iceman. Aaron, what's up, Aaron? Appreciate you. Orlando, Alistair 49 in the building, Gun Rights, Mafia. What's good? What's good? Trill Boxing Talk in the building. What's good? Trill Boxing Talk. All right, so again, so number 3, here's a killer. Here's a killer. And I mean the ultimate killer. Money. Money. Money is such a poison in relationship, man. Like seriously, it's a huge poison in relationships. Here's the thing. Yes, 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 yes. Communication does. It has to go both ways. It is. It is. It got to go both ways. She got to give it too, and you got to give it. Yeah, it's give it all and don't get anything back. Here's another. Here's another dagger, guys. I should say. We could call. Man, this screen straight. I need to get better lights. Always acting up at night. Let me see. All right, that's a little better. So here's here's something else that another killer when it comes to relationship. Okay, and Alice, to sit back and listen to something. I don't want you speaking too much here now because it's the power of the mind. Just sit back and learn and listen. Because dude, you about 19, and I don't know how many relationships you even been in yet. So you got a lot to learn here. Take a lot of this in. All right. So, but still, stay on the panel. Here's something else, guys, that I want you guys to think about when you're considering this whole, your mate. Step back and you look, am I with the right mate? Money is a killer. People argue so much about money, and you have to make a decision with the person that you decide to be with. You have to make a decision. Is it me or is it us? If when it becomes us, then you guys should try to make this thing a union, a unity, one unit. And when people can learn to do that, and that's a tough thing because, people want to believe that they trust their mate. Like, I trust my wife to the fullest. She knows it. She trusts me to the fullest. We don't have, it doesn't exist my money, your money. That doesn't exist in our relationship. We have a unit here. We have created one household, one family. So we have basically a family bank, and that's it. And all of the income from the business, from her job, from whatever other income that I bring in, whether it be through YouTube, through a couple of other things that I have going, we put into the family bank. There is no my money, your money. Well, I just made this and I just did this. And I just did no, no, no. It's just our money. And you have to keep it that way, and you have to believe it that way. And you have to treat it that way. You can't start bickering because you bought in $10,000 in the last 2 months, and she only bought in $4,000, and then vice versa. 2 months down the line, she brings in 10,000, and you only bring in 4,000. No, you can't bicker and argue about who bought in more. You guys just both bought into the family pot, and if you can stop that, it kills a lot of arguments. See, money is poison. Relationships break up on a daily basis. People argue all the time about money. It comes down to money. We can eliminate these things if we look into ourselves and say, look, what you guys talk about in the chat right quick. All right, said communication work. He said, I just got this 30 bands and now she telling me if I want this and that and go my own shit. If I got money, and I said, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, and that's how it is. See, and I was just saying that, and I didn't even read this gun rights, but that's what I was just talking about. Now, again, I'm not telling anyone how to live, and my wife and I've been at practice for years. It didn't happen overnight because we used to be just like a lot of other people. We used to have the arguments that other people had. We had to come to this together of like minds because she thinks along the way as I think too. No one can hurt you. No one can do anything to you. She thinks along those lines as well. And so we had to come to this. But $30,000 is $30,000. But all I will say is this: if there was a centralized fund and the amount of money didn't matter, just we have $30,000, then I don't think that there would be as many arguments because it wouldn't be her telling you what to do with the money. It would be more or less you two deciding what to do. Because if my wife and I had $30,000, we would just come up with ideas and we would sit down and we would decide what we're going to do with that money. And that would be it. There would be no arguments because it's the family money. And that's how we treat every dollar, every piece of revenue that comes to this house. And it keeps down those types of arguments. That's boom. What's good with you, fam?
Not much, just pulling in, came from the store real quick. Had to go get me some broccoli, you know what I'm saying, real fast and
Right, right,
gonna roll something real quick, you know. Had to go get me a little broccoli with some lettuce. You dig?
right, right. Tyrone Legacy said, I've been in a 10-year relationship. I have my own account from day one, still do. Don't feel bad for it. Why run into hurdles? Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you look at it as a hurdle, Ty, I see what my wife and I do. We don't look at it as a hurdle or anything that would ever cause a problem. And as a matter of fact, Ty, we look at our situation as it being easier to manage, less to worry about, less to argue about. We don't look at it as being a problem at all. Some people ego play a part of it. Sometimes the amount of finances play a part of it, and so forth. Sometimes the woman makes more than the man, or the man makes more than the woman, and they don't feel comfortable putting in the pot when they're the maximum breadwinner, or vice versa. But with my wife and I, it doesn't matter. When I was in the construction field, I make $1,480 a week or more. Sometimes $6,000-7,000 job in 5 days. But it was all going in the pot. It didn't matter that my wife only made $600 a week. It didn't matter. It was just still all going in the pot. And so that's just how we treat it. There is no mine or hers. It's just a family pot. And we've been married for 11 years. So we got you guys beat by 1 year marriage. But again, that's just how it is. And we don't have these arguments. Now, a lot of people may not be you and your old lady, Ty, but a lot of people sitting in here, maybe, sisters, cousins, or whatever. But there's always arguments about money. Constant argument about money. We never argue about money. So I find it easier. I don't find any hurdles in it. I find no problems in it. If something goes bad and she can't bring in revenue, then we still got revenue coming in from my side. So the house is okay. Find no hurdles or no problems in that, fam. You know what I mean? And if you find your system works well, then keep applying it. Don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as they say. But if you start getting into arguments and you turn around and these arguments, silly little arguments about money, you may want to contemplate changing something. Either you got to leave her or change the perspective that you have on money. Something's going to have to shake if that ever happens. But I don't anticipate that my wife and I have that difficulty or that hurdle to argue about money because of the system I have concerning the money. It's just a family pot. What's up? What's up, Boom?
I
My
think also with marriage, nothing much. I just wanted to cook with you on this subject because I'm myself, a man that's married, happily married, have known my wife at this point 20 years. We've been married. It'll be 3 years tomorrow. Tomorrow's my wedding anniversary. And it's kind of funny that you would take this iconic time to talk about this topic. And a lot of people do get married or do get in dysfunctional relationships due to either financial gain or just they're stuck on the sex or they stuck on the lifestyle that whatever person is living. It's not really about that particular individual, them two really knowing each other, who they are to their core. And if you notice that in most relationships, I would say a good 90% of them, once you get over the honeymoon phase, that's usually when a relationship goes downhill. Is once the honeymoon phase is over, once you get over the whole newness of the person and you actually getting to know who that person really is. And you find out that you really don't like them as much, or you don't like her as much, but the sex is good, or the head is good, or he got money, or she got money. It's always something that you'll ignore for something small, and it's ridiculous. Like you'll take years of your life and look up like, damn, I was with this girl for 5 years. Why was I with her? Because she had money. Oh, because she had good pussy or she has some good head. And then you realize you just gave up 5, maybe even 10 years of your life to a person that you was only with because you had a good sexual experience with when could have had better experiences with another woman or just a better experience in life, period, just being by yourself, getting to know you. A lot of people don't take the time to get to know themselves as well. That's another reason why they have problems in relationships.
All right, because I was going to get to that too because what happens with that is that a lot of people like men. This was me. I'll use myself for an example. When I was in my 20s, like early 20s, from 18 to like 25, I had my own crib. I was a single dude. I didn't have no girls. You know what I mean? No female, no living female. I had my own shit. So I never really had the experience of living with a woman. So I had no clue of myself, of what it would feel like, what it would be like to actually share space or live with someone. So with what Boone is saying, a lot of times people go in a relationship, you don't know shit about yourself. You don't even have a clue of how you would respond to living day by day, sleeping day by day, sharing room day by day, sharing a space day by day with this person. You don't even understand yourself yet. You haven't given yourself a chance to experience that yet. So it's all new to you. And that's just one example of things that we go into in relationships, not understanding ourselves. But again, and I'm gonna say this all the way through the live, are we able to look in the mirror and hold ourselves accountable for that? Because it's only then when we're gonna fix the problem. We can continue to blame our mate, or we could say, you know what, maybe I slipped up because I didn't understand this about me. So before I can fix what's going on, I have to accept the fact that maybe I caused some of this problem. And people are not willing to do that because it's all about she keep being a bitch. She keep nagging me. She keep doing this, but never looking in the fucking mirror and saying, you know what? Maybe I did some things to lead us here as well. And now we need to communicate and change this together, or we're not going to make it together. See, my wife and I had to come to that realization that it wasn't all her. It wasn't all me. It was both of us. And if we can realize that and look in the mirror together and hold ourselves accountable first, why do arguments always happen? in relationships because people hold the other accountable first. It's about what she did. It's about how she was fouled in this situation, or she ain't looking at it the right way, or he ain't looking at it, or he did. But they never reconcile with what it is that they did. They never come to terms with what it is they did because they're so upset, hurt, or frustrated at what their spouse or their mate is doing. So we have to first look in the mirror. It's like I always say about management, upper management, right? A lot of managers always say, chain TC in the or it's chain with ice in the building. Sorry, I thought that was my boy Chain TC. Like I always say, I used to tell my managers, I used to have multiple managers under me. And I used to say, when there's an issue in your office, if they ran one of the offices, or I had two district managers, so if they ran the district, I used to tell them, if there's an issue in your office or if there's an issue in your district, the first thing you need to do is not look at the employees in there, not look at your managers in your district. You need to first go to your office and see what is it that I did wrong that could have caused this. Because generally issues start from the top. So you need to start from the top, guys. I need you guys to go big, brainstorm and think what it is that you did and what could you have done different so that it was easier for the people beneath you. What did you do wrong? And if you come down and find out that you did everything that you were supposed to do and you delegated responsibilities the way you were supposed to delegate those responsibilities, and you're clear, then you move down the ladder. But you always start from the top, okay? When there's an issue, and this is what I used to tell my man, you always start from the top. So the correlation to what I'm talking about now in these relationships, we need to look within ourselves first. Always start with yourself. There's an issue, stop pointing the finger. Stop telling people what your wife did. Stop telling yourself what your husband did, your boyfriend did. Stop saying that. Start with you first, because most of us don't start with ourselves first. And that's a fact. We point the finger. So if you turn it around and point the finger this way and say, hold on, let me think. And I can guarantee you guys, we can always think of some things we shouldn't have done. Because look, I'll give you an example of how you can always think of some things you shouldn't have done. You and your girl argue for a few days. You and your man argue for a few days. And then eventually you guys sit and talk about it. And a lot of times this always comes about, well, yeah, I didn't even have to act like that. Well, yeah, you're right. I ain't have to be like this either, though. So right there, it's something that y'all know that once y'all reconcile, once y'all cool again, once y'all about to fuck, yeah, y'all can realize that, yeah, I didn't have to take it that far. Which means if you didn't have to take it that far once you guys are friendly again, you didn't have to take it that far when you weren't friendly. So that's something that you can hold upon yourself, hold yourself accountable. And then remember, not while y'all cool and get ready to have sex. Remember, when the hard times come again, don't do it again. Because a lot of times as people, we do it again. You know why? Well, if this bitch gonna do that, then I'm gonna act this way. Now you're doing it again. The same thing that you apologized for before, right? Look in the mirror first, man. Look in the mirror
Mhm.
first.
And a lot of people in relationships, they're not ready for the downturn. You know, you guys get into these relationships and you get with these women or you get with these guys that are financially well off or just stable in some form or way or another. And then the moment they lose a sense of stability, whether if they lose their job, be a COVID or they get fired or whatever, then all of a sudden you start changing up on them or you showing them who you really are, that you was really with them because of their financial stability. And then you base the whole relationship off of his or her financial stability. And that's where we don't take responsibility for relationships going bad as well. And another place we don't take responsibility for relationships is sex. Sex makes babies. Period. That's what it was made for. It was not made for your personal amusement. I get it. It feels awesome. We all enjoy it. Those of us that have had children or just do it for the fuck of it. We all can say we've had a good time. But it's not for our personal amusement. It's for making babies. So to all
Right.
you dudes, it's like you're trying to put your dick in everything that's moving, and then you get a baby with this chick because you just have a sexual arrangement. Mind you, sex makes babies. And then you have a baby with this girl who you just wanted a nice night with because she had a fat ass, nice tits, pretty face, sexy lips. So you want to have a good night. That one good night turns into 18 years of holy hell. All for what? A nut? Ladies is the same thing. You talk to this guy and you tell the dude tells you, "Oh, I'm not trying to be in a relationship," and you say, "I'm not either. I don't want a relationship either." And then you get pregnant by this dude. Now your maternal instincts is kicking in. You forgot about the original agreement y'all made. Now you're getting maternal. Now you're like, I want to keep this baby. But you already had a prior engagement saying that, hey man, we not trying to have a relationship. We just trying to have fun and go about our way. So when you come to the brother and say, oh, I'm pregnant, and he like, hold up, I don't want no babies. Now, oh, he a bitch ass nigga, you ain't this, you ain't that, and blah, blah, blah. But wait a minute. We had already made an agreement that we not in no committed relationship, and a baby requires a form of commitment. That's not a part of the deal. So
Right.
in that, ladies, you got to take the full responsibility. You do.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, again, that's individuals though. But with these guys, on that same token, that guy, if the commitment was never wanted, then that dude should have did one or two things. And where he's gonna have to look at himself in the mirror, strap up or get his pull-out game on 1,000. See? And then that's when he can turn around once again and look in the mirror. Because he can point the finger at that bitch that so-called trapped him or did whatever she did.
Yep, you
But,
trapped me,
but
man. You trapped me, man.
all
No,
right,
you put your shit up in there.
again, in these relationships, again, it's like I said, you start from the top, you start from inside, work your way out. You understand what I'm saying? Look in the mirror first,
Mm-hmm,
because a
mm-hmm.
lot of problems can be solved in relationships if we first look in the mirror. It's not about blame. It's more about to I think to make a relationship really work, guys. I think we should change the perspective of it's not about blame, it's about acknowledgement, right? Because you can blame, it's easy to blame. It's easy to point the finger and to blame. But accountability and acknowledgement is a little more difficult. And if we can learn to do that, if we can learn to acknowledge the issue and hold ourselves accountable for what part we take in that issue, that helps the relationships go forward. It's easy to blame. Blame only builds disdain, vindictiveness, anger, vengefulness. That's what blame does. Tick for tat, back and forth. Well, I didn't say that when you did this last week. Well, I didn't act like that when you did this the other night. Well, I wanted to have sex the other night. You act like you was all into the game. See, that's what that creates. That's what that creates. And again, we're talking about our mates here, right? The people that we felt like we loved. So you got to keep going back to that. Is the problem you, them, or both? Now, if you're going to find out if the problem is you, you got to look. You got to look within yourself to find out if it's you. Easy for you to say it's her. Easy for you to say it's him. My wife and I, if she does something that I disagree with, I tell her right on the spot. She said, well, I said, well, I didn't think that was cool or whatever. My complaint is about it. And she said, well, sometimes she'll say, oh, well, I didn't think about that. I apologize. Or sometimes she'll just simply say, well, sorry you feel that way about it. Now, at that point, I gotta go change because it's just no, maybe I shouldn't feel that way about it. And a lot of times she knows that maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. She's not gonna sit there and fuss with me about it. Just like maybe you shouldn't feel that way about it. She might go downstairs and fix her a cup of coffee or something and keep it moving. Now I gotta think to myself, well, damn, but she didn't, I told her I didn't like that. Now I have to think to myself, well, why is it that you didn't like that? That's what I do. I don't go back yelling at her like, hey man, I just told you I ain't like what you did. So why you gonna do that? Why you gonna do that? Because my wife and I believe, remember what I told you guys, my wife and I believe that no one can really do anything to you. We truly believe that. So I have to go look back at the situation and think to myself, what did it just happen that made me feel negative? How did I allow myself to feel negative over this, whatever it is? Because we don't have to feel negative over anything. El Jefe goes to
Right. And a lot of us got to stop getting so emotional with our spouses because women are emotional by nature. That's their nature is to be emotional, sometimes to go over the top. And sometimes we can internalize a situation that may not even involve us. They could be mad about something at work, and we sitting up there wondering why she got attitude. Why are you tripping? Why you got attitude? Why are you mad? She, had nothing to do with you. And trust me, when she's ready to talk to you, she'll come talk to you. Stop trying to overexert, trying to get information because she's upset. When she's ready to talk to you, she'll come and she'll talk to you. Stop trying to force certain things that aren't there. Ladies, the same thing. Some dudes, most dudes are emotionally retarded. They're not going to tell you how they feel all the time. They're not going to tell you what's on their mind all the time. Some dudes don't know how to do that. They'll talk to their fellas because they used to talking to their fellas about shit. They're not used to talking to a girl about it because I'm going to tell you the truth, ladies. It's something that a lot of women do that y'all got to stop doing. Okay? When a dude is pillow talking with you, and when he's sharing some vital information, it could be wherever, but he's sharing something with you, don't use it against him when y'all get into an argument. Because the moment he tells you something and says something to you in private, and you use it against him in an argument, guess what you just did? You just showed that man that he can't trust you when he shares himself something with you. So when he gets in a vulnerable moment, he's not going to share that with you. He's going to take it to another woman. Okay? So when a man shares stuff with you, please keep it with yourself. Keep it amongst y'all. Don't get mad at him and throw it in his face. Don't do that.
I think that's advice that really shouldn't really. I think that's advice that should go both ways, though. I don't think that should just come from if a man does it. Men need to understand that vice versa, because I've seen that situation cause issues. See, like this, my conversation is this too. I want to get this plain too, because I see that angle, but I don't want this angle to come into this particular conversation. The man woman versus woman thing, right? I don't really want to go down that line And at some levels, we may get into that discussion. But I think as individuals, we need to take a lot of this in. Now, that advice that Boone just gave is excellent advice. I do think that it applies to both genders, though. You know, it's something that probably, in my experience, happens more on the woman's side because they look at that particular issue, at least from my experience, it happens. But that advice is still good for both sides. But Reverend Pickle said, I met Miss P 23 years ago. We never married. I took a boat in Ibiza and we woke up on the ocean. We argue, we have our rights and wrongs, but she's not my problem. My past is. It eats me. See, that's what I'm talking. And this bothers a lot of people. Thank you, Reverend Pickles, for sharing that. And this bothers a lot of people, and it affects their relationships because at least Reverend Pickles here can acknowledge that. And that's a problem. A lot of people don't acknowledge that something in their past, maybe a traumatic event, maybe they were molested, maybe they were cheated on by somebody they really love, but there's something in their past that eats at them and they take that out on the spouse. But they've never dealt with what that is inside of them, right? They've never dealt with that themselves. At least Reverend Pickles here understands that it's not her, it's his past that eats at him. He can at least acknowledge that and build from that. And I can guarantee you the fact that he understands that it keeps a lot of arguments that could have potentially been with him and his spouse, it keeps them away because he understands, wait a minute, this is not her. This is my issue.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of playing that blame
So,
game, instead, let me Major King Boxing. What's good with you, fam?
Yo, chilling, brother, man. Yo, listen, man. There's mad ways to cut this one up here, man. Because first of all, I'm gonna say the most important key here. You know what I'm talking about when it comes to major keys on this subject is basically emotional intelligence. You know what I mean? You got to be aware of yourself. You got to be aware of the people around you, and you have to basically the last key to that is relationship management. So you got different personality types. People are going to react different ways. You got to hold yourself accountable at certain points, but then you also have to have enough self dignity to know when, hey, that person's messing up. It's not me. And you try to educate them, but if they don't want to learn, you know what I mean? Then at some point, because I could tell you because I had a 10-year relationship with this chick. You know what I'm saying? Grimy chick, bro. Grimy chick did me dirty, man. And everybody was asking me, yo, you sure she's not doing you dirty, bro? I'm like, man, I just don't have any proof yet. It seems like it. I understand you brothers. I got close friends of mine telling me, yo, she doing you dirty. I'm like, yo, listen, man, I feel you, but I would tell you the same advice, but I got no proof. If I got no proof, how am I supposed to disrupt my family life just accusing her? That makes me look stupid. It makes me look jealous. You know what I mean? So I gotta have some proof in the pudding. You know what I'm saying? I could question her, but you gotta understand sometimes there's manipulative people, and that's one of the things that we're missing here is there's manipulative people too. Even though you're doing the best, there's people that are actually focused on manipulating you, and they'll do everything in their power. They don't care how much they lie to you. They're gonna do whatever they have to do to get away with what they want to get away with. You know what I mean? And that's what sucks sometimes. Where you could be putting your all in and doing the best, but just have faith that afterwards that karma's coming back. And right now it's coming back to that person that did that to me, and I'm good because I'm in a happy relationship right now. You know what I mean? I've been happy for a few years now, and everything's going better than it's ever been going in my life. You know what I mean? So there's a couple of ways to chop this up, but that's going to be my positive outlook on this.
Thank you.
That. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Little John,
Thank you, bro.
Joshua Little
Thank
John.
you.
Yeah, thank you. Big.
I'm
That
glad
was
you
big.
brought some perspective, a different perspective as far as from what I've been hearing, because at the end of the day, it take two. You can give all your all, but you got to expect the other person to give all their all. We can always look. You got to remember, bro, listen, if you believe in God and you believe in, you feel me, humanity and how we was created, you got to remember, we deal with a jealous God. He doesn't want you to praise anybody but him. So those same emotions that you have in you, he has in him. You wouldn't have those in you if he didn't have those in him. So at the end of the day, bro, you have to understand it's both sides at the end of the day, bro. It takes two to tango, D. We can say, oh, yeah, let's look at us all we want to. But if that other person is not looking at themselves, it really doesn't matter because you giving your all. Just like old boy just said, he was giving his all,
but the other person wasn't given. And you got some deceitful people up in this world, and emotions do matter, bro. If somebody come up there and take flight on you, D, you can't tell me you're gonna fucking smile and just say, "Oh yeah, I feel where you're coming from." No, bro, you feel me? Emotions only
No,
go
no,
so
no. Well,
far.
hold on, right? I said on this panel countless amount of times, dog. And here you go doing this again. You charge me for things that you don't know that I've said before because
I've
maybe you
never
haven't.
said that you said
Hold on
that.
for a
I'm
second.
just telling you.
Hold on, bro. Hold on for a second. You can't tell me if somebody comes up here and takes off on me, then I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. When I always say this, unless somebody does something outside of the physical, I've always said that. Now, if somebody come try to stab you or shoot you, that's a different story. And I've never spoken on that, but I've made it a point. I'm sure Boone has heard me say it, Alistair. Everybody's heard me say this outside of the physical mouth. So when you make a statement like if somebody come up there and take off on me, that's nothing that I sit here
I'm
and
just
talk about,
explaining to
man.
you that emotions is not that easy to fucking control. Is my point.
Okay, gun rights. Of course it's not, and you're showing us it's not, because you like super excited right now, and ain't no reason to be. So I know it's not easy to control. I get that. And I also said that my wife has been practicing this for 11 years. I don't expect people to do this overnight. This is not an overnight thing. This is a journey, fam. Just like you tell me about the gambling. It's not a race. It's a fucking marathon, dog. This doesn't happen overnight, right? This takes practice. No, let me. I mean, I get what you're saying. Yes, it takes two, but let me respond to that, and I want to move to Joshua because this is really interesting. But it does take two. But in the example, Glenn, is that you? Major Key Boxing, that's you, right, Glenn?
Yeah, of course, brother.
Yeah. So just like Glenn said, Major Key Boxing said, he had to move on, right? And so what I'm saying is this: if my wife and I took this 11-year journey, we found out along the way that it's just not, this is not the one, we would have had to move on. That is another problem that people have. To get into a situation, and whether it be because of children or whatever, they stay in a relationship that's toxic and they use children or whatever as a reason why they stand in that relationship. The facts are you need to move on. If it's that detrimental, if you are guys are not that compatible, then you need to move on because there is someone that is compatible with you like that. But you have to also establish these things along the way. My wife and I didn't just jump here overnight. We built this. We built this. We built this mind the way we think together. Okay. At one point in time, because she left me for 6 years. So what does that tell you? This same woman I'm talking about fucking skated from me for 6 years because of the dumb shit that I was doing. We was not here. Okay? So this shit don't happen overnight. But you have to build with that person that you with, and you guys have to build on the same wavelength. You can't, if you feeling like, listen, just like you said, Ma, it takes two. That's where the lines of communication starts in the beginning. You open up and say, look, this is how we should approach. This is how we should, this is how. And if she don't agree with that, and she don't agree with this, and she don't agree with that, then in the beginning, that should tell you, hey, maybe this is not someone of like mind of me. And don't say, oh, you can search everyone. No, you can search. But remember, as you want them to compromise some things that she like or don't, you have to be able to compromise as well so that you guys can come to a like mind, to a like understanding. I had to make compromises. My wife had to make compromises, but now we're here. We're in the understanding. You understand? We have the same way of thinking. I can't hurt you verbally, moving a glass or putting my phone right here. I can't hurt you doing that, leaving my shoes in the living room. That's not affecting you. We understand that, right? A
Yo,
lot
D,
of people don't.
yo, D, can I jump in after you address Joshua? Because I want to talk
Sure.
about compromise,
Right.
expectations, and emotions. You know what I mean?
Right. Sure. So Joshua Littlejohn says, D, my guy, I'm 33 years old, no kids, no felonies, and on my way to being a heating. I used to do heating and air HVAC. That's cool. That's good money too, Joshua. Any advice for me on selecting a suitable woman? First piece of advice is listen up, bro. Listen up. to a lot of things that we're going to discuss here on both sides, not just what I'm saying, what Glenn has to say, what DT3 has to say, what Boone has to say, right? I want you to listen up to all of this and compile what works for Joshua Littlejohn, right? Because we're going to give you a lot of information. Glenn is getting ready to give forth some more information. Now, nobody one way works, man. Somebody in here said D is the love guru now. No, I'm not. But I do know some ways that work. Some things that my wife and I apply that can help. Everything that we do ain't going to work for everyone because everyone have their own lives. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that we do that can help. There's a lot of things that the way Mob approaches things or Major Key Boxing approaches things or DT3 approaches things that can help. Or Alistair even, I'm going to let you get in here too, Alistair, the way he approaches things that can help. And so my first piece of advice, Joshua, was to listen up. Because one thing's for sure, two things for certain. Every fucking one of us outside of Alistair have been through some shit. Boone's been through his problem. Gunright's been through his problem. Glenn just shared his problem with us. I just told you guys, my wife skedaddled from me. She got the fuck out of me for five. So we have all had our problems. So those experiences that we had, we're sharing with you now, you can at least avoid that. So listen up, okay? The second thing I'm going to tell you is this, Joshua. Know what it is you want and do not compromise none the least. This is where a lot of men make the first mistake. Now, I'm going to put this on men right off the back. Father Fenton in the building. I know the, let me get to that super chat right quick. Oh, that's Father Jack Hackett. Okay. Father Jack Hackett in the building with the £5 super chat. Father Jack, appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you. I really do. All right. So, Joshua, let me get back to this right quick. Second thing, really important. This is just my advice. We know what we want. Where we slip as men is we know what we want in a woman, but at the immediate time, we want that pussy more. So we allow pussy to compromise what it is that we really want. So Joshua, fuck until you can't fuck no more. But when you go on the search for that woman, let the pussy be the secondary. I mean, it's got to be good now. We all adults here, so it's got to be good. Because if the pussy ain't good, it ain't no need for you to say with it. I mean, I'm going to keep it real, right? So it's got to be good. But don't let that lead the decision. The decision has to be from what you want, fam. You understand? And along the way, in the beginning, nip shit in the bud. If you don't like it, don't let it go. Don't let it slide. Nip it in the bud. Don't feel like you're nagging too much. All right, baby. And everything that she has to bring to you, like certain complaints, don't do it. If you feel like it's no big deal, you guys discuss it. Open line of communication. Because you'll never get to this point here if you don't establish things early. But you cannot compromise for what it is that you truly want in the beginning. It's not about the woman that you find. It's about what you will tolerate and what you will allow yourself to go to the next step. A lot of us guys, we tolerate things and we allow things to go to the next step. And we're 2 or 3 years in a fucking relationship and we've had enough. And we get there because we allowed ourselves to get there. So Glenn, you said you wanted to jump in on compromise and that type of thing.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make it brief because I just came back from a day of errands in my mother's house, seeing my sister and all that. You know what I mean? So my battery's low, but it's important though. I wanted to jump on because this is an important topic. You know what I mean? Because some people don't realize the little keys. You know what I'm saying? So I want to touch on 3 keys. You know what I'm saying? The first one, well, actually 4 communication, but that you just explained right there. But when it comes to
shit, I think
when it,
Oh, now go ahead, Glenn. Go ahead.
Yeah, when it comes to emotions, bro, like one of the ways that people need to see it, emotions are a train of thought. You know what I'm saying? You get off on whatever stop you want to get off on. You know what I'm saying? If you want to continue on that train of thought, you know what I mean? Then you're going to continue making yourself feel the way you feel. You know what I'm saying? And that's in your mind. Like the emotions is a train of thought. That's all I can say about that. You know what I mean? Second key, when it comes to what you were saying as far as compromise. That's very important because you have to know the limitations. You have to compromise, though. You have to compromise if you're trying to make it work. Both people have to compromise. But at the end of the day, you got to know when you're compromised, you know what I mean, is going too much, and now you're talking about your own self dignity, and you're not, you know what I'm saying, like doing well for yourself, because a toxic
Yeah, it's got to
relationship,
be balanced because too
yeah,
much compromise on one side is not mutually beneficial. Then you're kind of tipping the scales, which means
and then it's
that
toxic.
compromise, that mutual compromise, usually leads to control of one way or the other.
Right,
So
exactly.
when that
See, and it's
scale is
toxic.
tipped too much, then this person's in control, and that's not what you want. You want balance, you want equality, you want to do it again together as a
Right,
unit. That's why
right.
that compromise is important.
Toxic, right, and it can lead into a toxic relationship. So, so at the last key that I'm gonna talk about is expectations. You know what I mean? Expectations. That's a powerful thing right there, because if you come into a relationship without setting the standard and understanding that this person is capable of giving you what you need, then you have unrealistic expectations, and you're always going to be angry at that person for not meeting those expectations. You know what I mean? So you got to realize at some point, yo, this is not the right person for me. You gotta move forward and say, all right, well, hey, it was a nice fling. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed all those nights at the hotel. You know what I'm saying? It was great and all that. But moving forward, I'm looking for a wifey if that's what you're really looking for. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
And that's
yes.
it. Expectation. Never have too many expectations for your partner, because if you have too many expectations that are unrealistic and that you're not willing to deliver yourself, then it's automatically screwed right there. You know. So
Right.
that's all I want to drop right there, D. I appreciate you having me on, man. I'll be listening in the background for a couple more minutes before my phone gets real low.
All right, appreciate you, Glenn. You know you're always welcome. Now, the second part of Joshua said it's kind of hard in the yard to connect with a female where I'm at. They see me as a nerd or square because my personality. I go into the museum and anime events, so I catch hell. Here's the thing, fam. Here's the thing. And I always, and let me move this comment for a second. And I always say this. This is the thing with this, Joshua. There are so many women that are tired of guys like the way I used to be, or what the television tell them. This big buff guy, that this certain personality, this certain character they draw. There are so many women out there that definitely want a guy like you, fam. And I'm talking about bad women, fam. Bad women. The intimidation factor, right? If there's any intimidation, change it in yourself. Go to these women with extreme confidence. Don't worry about the perception of your personality or what things that you like. If a woman decides to like you, this not gonna matter to her what you like. She'll probably learn to enjoy what you like, and vice versa. You guys begin to adapt to each other. I never used to watch anything at all on the Lifetime channel. It's just a story. Some guys might think it's funny, maybe not. I don't know. But the Lifetime channel, I never used to watch a damn thing on that channel. It's this show that my wife watches on that channel, and it's called For My Man. I think that's the name of it. It's called For My Man. So it's basically about these women that go fucking ape shit and ruin their lives over a dude. Like they'll let them end up convincing them to do murders or commit heinous crimes and end up going to prison. Some of them have children and everything, and it's called For My Man. This is a show that I've adapted to watch, and I actually enjoy sitting there watching it with her. And I've never watched anything on like that because sometimes it's not all about us. If you want your partner to enjoy some of the things that you have as interests, although they may not be interested in it, then always remember, be willing to enjoy some of the things that she have that you may not have an interest. And tell her about that. Say, well, yeah, well, maybe we can try those things. When you tell her that you're involved in anime, say, well, try it out, and I'll explain it to you along the way. One thing that you will find funny, which is more on this story that I'm telling you, Joshua Little John, my wife never really liked sports before me. I was a sports fanatic. She wasn't really on no fucking sports, man. My wife not only watches football now, she knows about football. She has a favorite football team. She follows football. She watches basketball, boxing, UFC, enjoys it. watches fights with me, man. She knows Errol Spence, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Daniel Cormier, Amanda Nunes. Like seriously, guys. LeBron James. She knows these players. She knows coaches. She was never in the sports. She adapted to that because these are some of the things that I enjoy. I adapted to that lifetime shit. Some of the things that she enjoyed. You have to become one. You have to build that compromise along the way, Joshua. So know what you want, but also be willing to give. You understand what I'm saying? And that will help you. That will help you find the perfect woman, man. Because nothing's perfect in the beginning. You guys have to build to that. Again, my wife left me for 6 years. There's a reason. One, because I cheated and I was a piece of shit, but still, she left me. So nothing's perfect in the beginning. You have to build to that. We had to build to this. You know what I mean? And if you're with a spouse now and you're having a whole bunch of freaking problems, like, yeah, D, you say that shit, but it don't work like that with my spouse. You have to start from now and build to it. Or you have to come to the realization that you guys may not be that one. Like, here's the thing. Who's the problem? You, them, or both? A lot of times, if both are the problem, you guys need time apart, or you guys need to immediately compromise and make a lot of compromises and stick to it, which that's hard to do because emotions get, people are heated because they've been going through this for 2 or 3 years. I've been trying so hard. Finally, when I get to the point I'm do something, she's still fucking nagging me. These things are hard to just cold turkey these things. You know what I mean? It's a difficult task to ask anyone. Sometimes you just may need time away from that person, or you may just need a fresh start. You may just come to the realization, and it may be hard, but this is not the person for you. Whether you have kids with them, whether you've been married to them for 5, 10 years, don't matter. It might not be the person for you. My woman's a good one. She lets me play cards. She lets me go to strip club. My wife took me to a strip club right here across from the casino, Hollywood Casino. She lets me shoot pool, chess, poker. My problem is her old man. Every time he comes to our house, he has dog shit on his Man, that's funny, Reverend Pickles. He does it on purpose. He steps and shit, brings it to my house. You know what I would do for him, Reverend Pickles? And I tell my wife before he come over, listen here, old man, you have to take your shoes off at my doorstep. That would be the rule. Or that motherfucker couldn't step in my house no more. I don't blame you for that, Reverend Pickles. But you gotta establish that rule, Reverend Pickles. That way you'll be mad at that no more. Tell that son of a bitch don't stop putting your house no more with no shoes. I don't care if it's feet stink. Do it stink worse than the shit. And then you don't have to clean that shit all up. Iceman said, dude, you better hold on to that woman. Oh, I am, bro. She's going nowhere, bro. Are you kidding me? Bet, Joshua. Okay, yeah, Joshua. I hope that helped, Joshua. Dead ass, bro. I mean, anything else, just like I said, take it all in, fam. Uh, Make a new rule. You have to take your shoes off. Oh, yeah, there you go. Hell yeah, make a new rule, dude. Don't step foot in my house without you. France on 2 in the building. As long as your soulmate is not an angel of death, then you're on the right path. God bless. Yeah, well, that's for sure. That's for sure. If your soulmate's an angel of death, then you might be in some kind of an issue, though. Joshua Little John, you're a smart dude. God bless you, my brother. Yeah, man. Yeah, Joshua's sharp as attack, man. Sharp as attack. Real talk, Avery. You're a wise man. What you said applies 100%. Yeah, it does, man. Avery be dropping gems, man, all the time. I speak from experience in the heart. That's right, man. Father Fenton Stack, what's up? You're a good man. Great channel. Thank you, bro. You're a good man yourself, and we do appreciate you for that donation, Father Fenton. Appreciate you, my man. Monkey Kung Fu in the building. He said, Joshua Littlejohn, don't let a woman or anyone make you feel uncomfortable about the things you got. There you go. Before I got down to this, That's what I'm saying. You, man, feel comfortable, feel confident. Don't see, like, change that perception too, Lil John. I want to say this to you, fam. Change that perception too of like the anime or something being something that you need to be embarrassed in. Be proud of it. Because, bro, I've been to ComCon. I'm pretty sure you know what that is, Joshua. It's bad. I seen some bad women there, so it's bad women everywhere. And look, they like the same type of thing. No, it's bad women everywhere. You can find them. They're out of there. You'd be surprised. Hell yeah, Monkey Kung Fu, no doubt. Alistair, you still there?
Yes, I am, bro. I'm just
All
listening
right.
on.
I know you're young, but I want you to give some input on. All right, guys, we getting it from the young crowd. What you think, Alistair, about some of this stuff I've been saying, fam? What you think?
Yeah, I've just been, tuning in, just listening. But yeah, I feel like, that a woman and a man, the relationship has to be, equal and things like that. And I also feel like, man, I don't know. I feel like if gotta get what you want, if you like this person or whatever, I think you should just go for it. Try to, go for it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like see what happens. And I feel like I agree with pretty much everything you said about like communication, etc. Because this things happen like where I'm at as well. Like not just for marriage, but just like in general, right? For
Just
like
relationship, just a couple and
relationship.
stuff. Yeah.
Exactly, man. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for now, though. But yeah,
That's cool. I just didn't want to keep you sitting there and like leave you out of the conversation because I want you to get into. But Joshua, let me ask you this. Let me make sure. Because I always miss the chat. Make sure it's J Bum. What's up in the building? He said. Then they end up sleeping with some bum. Yeah, that might happen sometime. Patriots fan, E40 Jay Z. He said, my ex was a Mike Tyson fan. I'm a Lennox fan. And the worst argument we had was when they fought. She bought the pay-per-view. Let me ask you something, Joshua. Why did you guys, if you don't mind asking me, why did you guys split up? I want to kind of do something here. Why, if you don't mind, if you don't want to say, just say none of your goddamn business, D, and then that's fine. We'll move on. But if you don't mind, why'd you guys split up? Man, the solo said, Alistair completely agree. Nas is the GOAT. Oh, y'all talking about music. And they end up sleeping with a bum. Yeah, man. Yeah. Alistair, fuck no, bro. East Coast rapper Cannabis was way better than Nas. Oh my gosh. I'm not even getting into that. Cannabis was a battle rapper and he had really good metaphors and um, very a very broad vocabulary. He was able to use words in a methodical way, and that's pretty much what Cannabis' specialty was. And he battled a little bit, but lyrically, I really couldn't put Cannabis on Nas's level. Nas was a storyteller. He could also battle. He could rock a crowd. He was much more versatile than a guy like Cannabis. Cannabis is pretty much one zone, which is why his album flopped doo doo. It didn't really do much, even though lyrically, if you listen to the things that he was saying on the album, he was talking about one where he was basically describing if he was a sperm cell and he was breaking it down with the wordplay and all of that, but it didn't catch on. So I don't know. It's just hard to kind of gauge that kind of stuff. Love Chargers, bro. I have the lightning bolt tattoo on my skull, but the Raiders are going to kick the Chargers' ass this year. Yeah, okay. So I was stalling out a little bit. Joshua, if you're still in there, I don't know if you wanted to answer that, but anybody in the chat, we can do this with anybody. Why did you break up with your ex? Alistair, you broke up with your ex-girlfriend, or you still with her?
well, it broke up, but
Why y'all break up? Let's do this. Do you mind saying why y'all broke up?
Well, certain differences, happen, where we basically, had other things, other interests, basically, with what we want to do, like our career paths. Like,
Right.
I went off to like a different, college and than her and stuff like that. So,
Oh, okay, so you got, yeah, see, and that's why it's kind of hard for kids. And like I can't, and not, no disrespect, I don't mean to call you a kid, but that's why it's kind of hard for young adults because you guys are just starting out, you know. But here we go. Okay, okay, okay. We split up because she sent fake ultrasounds to my Facebook, okay, inbox, and basically I would have had a better shot at being a okay, right, okay. So see here, so see here. This lady, at some levels, which I'm pretty sure you found out later down the line, Joshua, was controlling, right? This lady had control issues, right? Now, all I'm going to say is this, Joshua, and stop me real quick if I'm wrong about the control issues, right? Because here's what I've been through this a lot with friends, family, or whatever, and here's the thing: the ladies that do that lie about pregnancies, no one can tell me that they don't have a control issue because they're trying to control the relationship. They don't want you to leave. They know they might be fucking up. They know they may be slacking in another area. They may even know that you are not, you know, happy with what's going on. There may be a situation within the house where she's slacking and the baby puts her back into control. So there's a control issue there. And this is what I say about guys who end up with women with control issues. And Joshua, he might be like, yeah, D, you might be right. Along the way, these women that have control issues, they utilize the sex as a weapon. Somewhere along the way, it's utilized as a weapon, right? You don't do what they say, or you don't do what she like or something. You're sleeping on the couch. You're not getting none that night because it didn't, you know, play out the way that she liked it. Well, after a while, that type of shit doesn't work anymore. You're like, all right, man, well, whatever. So now she can't control the situation no more. And then the next step is taken. And then I'm pregnant. Because that puts her back in control. Because guys are, oh, damn, she's pregnant. She's pregnant. So, whether it's just negative effect or positive effect on you, it's going to cause an effect on you. Now, this is my experience from women who generally have done that. So again, stop me when I'm wrong, Joshua. At some point in time, it's a control issue. And you guys, as men, you can see that along the way. That's why I said in the beginning of this, for all of you men out there, the pussy. Okay? When it comes to the pussy, you got to put that in the back. You got to think from here. Remember about what it is that you truly want. Don't allow these things to slide by. Because while you're allowing them to slide by, because the pussy is so good, you're allowing her actually to build the control, or vice versa, the men and the women. For the women, it's the same thing. Like I was telling my man BT3 earlier, it's the same situation for the men and the women. Women, stop allowing these guys to get away with this, because the penis is so great. Because the more you let them get away with this, they're building up that control. If you are not happy with something, you gotta express it early. And then if they don't accept it, you have to be willing and ready to walk away, because that means that they're not willing to compromise. If they care about you and you care about them, vice versa, and they express to you that you're doing something that they don't like, that bothers them, that makes them unhappy. If what you're doing is not that important, why can't you just stop doing it? You understand? Because it's compromise involved. If you're leaving your fucking shoes in the living room every day, is it a big deal if you stop leaving your shoes in the living room? But a man or a woman will say, well, I've been in this house and I've been leaving my shoes. But listen, don't you love this person? Is it a big deal if you just put your shoes in the closet? Learn to compromise with your mate. And a lot of times there's a lack of this compromise. And then so the control, or one way or the other, the man and the woman, this control start building up because since you don't want to compromise, then I'm gonna make you do it this way. I keep telling you not to do this, do this. You don't never do this, I ain't giving you none. So now the sex is a weapon. And then it's sort of like, I can't hit you. I don't want to leave you. So I'm gonna hold the sex back, and then that person starts doing it. See, it's control. All right, babe, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. No, but you didn't like that. So stop letting these things happen. Stop letting these levels of control build up because a spirit is out of control. And 5 or 6 years down the line, like I said, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things that your spouse is doing, but you never nipped that in the bud. You never communicated to them it even bothered you. Some things they do naturally and they've been doing it and they didn't plan on stopping it because they never knew it bothered you. You never even told them it bothered you. 2, 3 years in, you just sucked it up and you didn't tell them that it bothered you. Now y'all get into this deep argument. She been doing this shit that's been really aching and irking your nerves for the past 3 years, but you never said a damn thing until 3 years later because you didn't nip it in the bud. You let these things build up. You let them slide. And I'm only saying all of this because Joshua asked me a specific question, right? How do I find the woman I want? Well, if you don't want all of these things, remember, we got to build to this because she might not be perfect. This is not like you go pick a woman off the shelf and this is what you get and that's what you want. You have to build into a relationship so that you two please each other. And she might not be the exact perfect woman you want, but if you guys work together in a harmonious relationship, she will become more than the woman you want. That wife of mine is more than the woman I want. You see? You have to give in, and it's a give and take thing here. It's a give and take thing here. Manda Solo said the last girlfriend I broke up with was because she was mad jealous and I banged her friend. Well, look in the mirror. Remember, the banging of the friend part is where you fucked up, man. I think that's an easy one. The banging of the friend part was no good. Yes, France, $2 billion state. Oh yeah, Vegas. D just wanted to say I've entered the third place unrivaled boxing talk rankings. Yeah, I heard you got. Did you get 15, 14, 15, something like that? But yeah, good job, dog. Great job. No, I don't know. You might not be. You might not slip too much, man. There's only a few people. Maybe you get like scrapbook or blood or BL to come, but it's not really too many people that's gonna knock you out of the box, man. That's I don't know what you got, but if you got third school, I know Ason's got like 15 and Beast got 19, so that's excellent. Intangible. All right, how about women who want your kids? Women who want your kids to trap you? Yeah. That's what we were just talking. So I guess I kind of answered that question, depending on how long you've been in here, Chopstick. Um, it's just like, again, you got to watch the signs. As men, we have to watch the signs. We cannot allow certain things to slide. Monkey Kung Fu said, my last relationship ended because of a terrible accident. She slipped, fell, and landed on every dick within a 20-mile range. Holy shit, yeah. But, relationships that end like that they are what they are. That definitely wasn't the person for you, Monkey Kung Fu. I don't think you wanted a woman who would land on every dick in a 20-mile radius. You know what I mean? She also was burning rubber and hitting figure eights in the parking lot of my school before I graduated. Wow. Yeah, you might have escaped one there, Joshua. That might have been a good thing you got away from her, fam. Fran said, D, my ex-girlfriend did the same thing as Joshua Lewis. I would say it was more of a narcissistic and manipulative situation. In the case, it was toxic. And yeah, and manipulative, France, control, right? That's why they manipulate. These type of women that do that are controlling, fam. They control and they have that need to control the situation. And when we build to this unity that I'm talking about, no one controls. There's no control. You're doing it together. We have to relinquish the control, the male dominance or the female superiority. These complexes have to leave. It has to be a unit together, us, one, no control. And those women, are trying to control the situation, just like these men that earn the money, right?
Right.
And the woman don't really earn the money, but then they feel like they can control the situation. Dude, let me tell you something. A maid, a maid gets paid to clean the house. Childcare services are fucking expensive as hell. You can pay for one child up to $150 a week. You do the goddamn math on that, right? Childcare service, a maid, then a cook to cook food for you every day, right? How about that? The wife does this daily. Laundry. If you start tacking prices on to what she does in that household, Mr. I make all the money. What she spends her time on, if she keeps the house the way she did, Mr. I make all the money, then she's putting in too. Just because your fuckhead ass ain't paying her for it, she's saving you that money in your pocket. Because if you weren't paying her for it, guess what? You have to pay somebody to take care of the kids, to do this, to do that. But you're not paying her for it. So that amount of value should be factored in, right? But then these guys that make all the money want to take control, right? It's a compromise here. And we have to understand that it's always a compromise here, bro. It's Eminem reference. Honestly, I had no idea. Oh shit. Well, Sporadic Flower said this is a disgusting talk. Well, Sporadic Flowers, this is just it's life. It's just life, you know. Uh yeah. But this channel is 18 or older, so you might want to log out of this one. Yeah, the Guilty Conscious Soul with Dr. Dre. Oh, yeah. Joshua Littlejohn said the teachers called the laws on her that day, and she called a DUI. Oh, yeah. You paid her bail, and she was, hey, man, you're a good guy, Joshua. You're a good guy, because I would let her sit in the drunk tank for a little while. I would have let her drink that one off, Joshua. But that shows you just a good guy you are. You say, yo, D dropping gems like clumsy thieves. I appreciate that, man.
I
Yeah.
gotta,
Go ahead, Alistair. Go ahead.
I got something to elaborate with. But so basically, these athletes really gotta watch out, gotta look out for the people trying to take their money. If you think about it, because like Manny Pacquiao, right? I was just watching the video or whatever. I was looking at Manny Pacquiao. He was outside chilling. They were interviewing him or whatever. Next thing you know, I see his wife, right? So his wife, Jinky Pacquiao, as you guys all know, Manny Pacquiao's wife, and she had a Gucci shirt on, right? So she had a Gucci shirt or whatever, and I'm like, that's pretty awesome. But the thing is, like, you gotta realize, like, she's like his wife, Manny Pacquiao, is starting to live that lifestyle that Manny Pacquiao has brought into both of their lives, and I feel like what he did or whatever. I know, like she's his real wife and everything, but it wouldn't have been so nice. Like the fact that she's wearing whatever she wants. She has the designer purses, the bags. You know what I mean? The lifestyle, the cars. I feel like that's a big jump. You know what I mean? From like where these people started before they met Pacquiao, or they met these athletes. And I feel like here's what I think personally, right? Is a lot of these athletes, right, that get big, that get money, take whichever girl, like they take whichever girl. They don't even care sometimes that they know they're being used for money. But I feel like it's because they never had that before in their lives. Like they never actually had a girlfriend before. So they feel like, man, it's sort of like a trophy, you know what I mean, or like a reward for what they've been accomplishing, like their status. They feel like, hey, this is a part of it. I got to get this woman, or I got to get this car. I got to get this. But Mike Tyson had, like, what he said, when he was getting to the top, he said he had like 20 girlfriends or something like that. And it's like, how do you have all that girlfriends? Like, it's odd, right? But I feel
Because
like it's because
those
he's
are not
never
really
even had anything
relationships.
like that.
Those are not really relationships, bro. Those are sex partners. And what we're talking about, like, what we're talking about as far as, like, we're not talking about sex partners. We're talking about mates, companions, wives, husbands, soulmates. Like, somebody you're gonna be with. Mike Tyson had a
Right.
bunch of floozies. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but when you talk about building something with your partner, your mate, your wife, your husband, you're talking about building something that you don't want to listen. We don't want to have arguments every day. I'm pretty sure everybody knows a couple of someone around them that argue every damn day. Every damn day they argue. And I think to myself, I always think to myself with people like this, because even when I wasn't like about my spirituality and the way I think now, man, I was damned if I was going to be arguing with some female every day because I used to be a player. That's why my wife left me. I used to run around just before we was married. She left me because I got caught being a player. I was a player. You understand what I'm saying? So I would be damned if I'm gonna sit there and argue with someone every day, in and out, argue, argue, argue. I wasn't gonna do that. I'm just gonna leave you and go to the next one, bro. I'm not doing that all day. So I never really believed in that. But if I've heard a lot of people do it, I've heard like a lot of my boys do it with their girl. Think to myself, if it's that bad, how do you people stay around each other? And why do you people stay around each other? Because if there's always a disagreement for any and every little thing, this should be like a flash, a lightning bolt, like ding, 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 ding. You guys are not compatible. And I don't understand why people are so reluctant to leave each other, you know, to remove themselves from that toxic environment.
Right.
Either you have to change the environment, so you guys have to come together and do the things that we talked about today, or you have to remove yourself from that toxic environment. Arguing with someone every day is not even healthy. That stress, listen, stress kills, guys. Stress kills. Stress is probably the number one killer in the world. It's arguing every day and heated conversations, and you really feeling this emotion because you think that you love this person or whatever. That's a stress that we all don't need. And you guys that are in those tumultuous relationships like that, I'm telling you, it's not good for you health wise either to be doing that every day. And I'm just perplexed at how anyone or why anyone would want to stay together and do that every fucking day, though.
People do that to themselves as well. Like the relationships that they're in, they want to get out, but they continue to, be there. Like they don't want to leave. They continue to like take that every day. Like they don't, seek any change or anything. Like they put themselves in that position.
All right. Sporadic Flower says, I'm with the right mate because I got a kid, a job, money, a life, and a husband to take care of all together. Yeah. And look, man, that's the thing. And I was saying, Sporadic Flowers, this is what you want, right? And if you have what you want, and you got your mate, if you guys operate harmoniously, like there's a lot of people, okay, so you have liberal and independent women. And then you have women that like to love the duty. They actually like the duty of being the housewife, the house mom. That's what they want to do. They don't want to go out there and work the job. They want to be home with the kids, be a homemaker, take care of the home. So again, remember, your mate is perfect for you. It's not my mate that's perfect for me. It's your mate that's perfect for you. But you have to find out what's perfect for you. If you are that homemaker and you want a husband that will be the breadwinner and you be the homemaker and you guys do that together and you're harmonious, Sporadic Flowers, and the union that you guys have, You don't spend every day arguing. He comes home, you have dinner ready, and it's the whole family environment, and you guys are happy. That's what it's about. And that's how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like anyone else's relationship. Remember, we're all individuals. We're supposed to have our own relationship. But if that's what you find harmony in, that's where you're supposed to be. And that's the good man. You are with the right person that you're supposed to be with. My wife and I, we both have ambitions to do things. We both have ambitions in business. So she wants to earn revenue. I want to earn revenue. But I'm not the kind of husband that gets angry because she may earn more revenue than me, or get jealous because she's the major breadwinner and I'm not, because there is no major breadwinner in this house. The way we look at it is, she brings some money in the account, I bring some money in the account. We just do what we can to keep bringing money into the account, because we don't have a mine in hers or his and yours or any of that. None of it. Focus on yourself. It's like when you forget the name of a song or misplace your keys. You always remember to find it when you're where you're not looking, right? The best relationships are always a surprise or unexpected. Yeah. Coincidentally, that is so true, man. It's so profound, because a lot of females that I expect to be the one, and I think that probably a lot of us share this, that we expected was that one. We find out it is exactly not that one. And my wife, I didn't expect to be the one. It wasn't until she left my dumb ass for doing what I did. And for those 6 years, I couldn't find any woman that was remotely close to the woman she is. And I was like, damn, all the things that I thought that I wanted. And I look at these other women and they don't even have half of it. I want what that woman offered me. At the time, I was young and dumb, so all I really wanted to do was play the field and have multiple women. But in a relationship, as a wife, as a partner, she was always what I wanted. And when I lost her and she left me, I was like, damn, I fucked that up. And I always knew that I messed that up. So I did start to look into other women to see if they could ever become what I wanted. But I had what I wanted there, and I took advantage of it, and I lost it, you know? So I did have an idea of what I want, but what didn't I do, guys? What I'm talking about now, and why she left me. I didn't compromise back then. She compromised for me. She did a lot of things, you know, that she may not necessarily have wanted to do, but I didn't compromise. I didn't compromise to, first and foremost, monogamy. I still wanted my cake and eat it too. In a relationship, you have to understand you have to compromise, and I never did that. And this is why I lost that opportunity. Now, although I gained it back to keep her here and build to what we built to now, I had to compromise. I had to keep my dingaling in one place. That was the first piece of, you know, that was the first big thing I had to do. I had to stop telling lies, right? Because I used to tell lies. Of course, if you're cheating, you're gonna tell lies, right? My wife don't like the lying. She rather me back then, which I didn't know till later. She told me, she's like, I'd rather you had just told me you were sleeping around. We could have worked on that. And I was like, oh damn. So I went through all of that bullshit for nothing, because I could have just told her and then we could have worked on that. And I'm like, what shit? And then, you know, so this is the thing. Be willing to compromise, man, and be willing to accept who they are. You know, just like Joshua, you know, that woman will accept that he like anime. She fuck around and like anime too. Or, you know, get into it. Yo, my dude D, I'm glad to share my experience, real talk image. Guy like me with the girl with tattoos on her face. And Professor Comp was great. I took fencing classes growing up. Hey man, that's all right. Oh, that is okay. That is all right. A lot of women want you. I know for a fact. I know a lot of women in the hood want you. Yeah, a lot of women in the hood. Now I wouldn't suggest uh just going to the hood to find a mate, because you're gonna. But I'm just saying, it is a lot of women that you wouldn't think that because of the element they're around. They're in the club, they're around the guys with the floss and the gangster attitude, that they wouldn't really be interested in a dude like you, but it's actually opposite, man. They would really like to get away from them fucking hooligans and settle down with a dude that and learn about your world. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of women like that in lower income areas.
Like, what, let's say you tell the truth. Like, what if you tell the truth to the girl, but she leaves you? Like, you tell the truth to your wife or the woman you cheated on, and she ends up leaving you. Why? What do you do after that?
Wow. Insecurity, man. Say that again. Oh, Alice, I'm sorry. I was reading his thing. What did you say, Allison?
No, I was saying, like, reflecting, like, what if you tell her the truth and she ends up leaving you? Like, you do tell her the truth, you compromise, but then she's like, oh, you know what? I'm done. You could deal with this yourself, and she leaves.
So what you mean you tell her the truth? Like, what do you mean? The truth about what?
Like, if you have been cheating, because you said like, don't be afraid to compromise. And
No. So, well, let me rewind. So, what she was telling me is when we first started fucking around, right? Had I just come clean and told her, like, well, look, I like to fuck with a bunch of women. She was saying that that's something that maybe we would have been able to work on. Like, she would have worked with me on it. We would have had to come to an understanding. But she did say the understanding would have been like, okay, we can do that. We could be together, but you can't get mad if I decide to do my thing too. And that's the problem, the compromise now that a lot of men not willing to take. They want to be able to run and fuck 30 bitches, but they don't want their woman to run and have a so when she said there was something to work on, but it didn't have to mean that the relationship was over with, is what she was saying, right? So we would have talked about that and we'd have came to a compromise. Now, if I was the guy to say, well, no, I don't want you doing that, then at least we got that out in the open, and then we come to understand that, well, this is how it's going to be. And this is what she would have let me know. If I can do it, you can do it. And then if you can't do it, then I can't do it, right? Or then we don't be together. So now you save yourself and that young woman from 5 or 10 years, and both of you guys loving each other, because it always hurts less in the beginning than it will 3 or 4 years down the line, because then there's love and emotions and everything else involved. So why not end something before any of that comes to play? It's so difficult to change or mold or build relationships, because when those relationships have been going for so long and that love and that emotion and those ties come to play, then you get these situations where you're arguing every day, right? But if you nip that in the beginning, like way in the beginning, if I talk to her, like, look, I'm not really wanting to be, wanting to be with no one girl. But guys lie. They want to make girls feel like they the only one so that they can get the pussy, right? This is what guys do. And they want that woman. So again, remember I said in the beginning, this look inside. If you know what you want, then be that person too, right? You can't be this person like you want a good woman. Well, look, what does it take to have a good woman? Because I'll tell you like this, most of the decent women, the ones that we want, they're not going to tolerate you running around with 30, 40 different other women. So if that's the type of woman you want, you got to understand that you have to be a certain kind of guy to attract what you want. You know what I mean? You don't want this woman running around like Monkey Kung Fu said, sitting on 20 dicks in the 20-mile radius or whatever, every dick in the 20-mile radius. You don't want that. You want this good woman that you speak of. So you may have to, again, in the beginning, compromise to be that man that deserves, and the man that it required to take to keep this type of woman. You know what I mean? My ex used to accuse me of cheating when I went to poetry recitals. I took her once, and never again. She didn't believe I did open mic poetry because I never wrote one for her. Did she deserve it? She might have deserved to be your ex, Joshua. Don't assume that women always do that. I'm a woman. I'm calm towards my kids and husband. Some other couples and partners are too. I just give my kids cookies and present it and presents if she does her chore. But don't assume that every woman does what, because I don't think I stereotype any women here, sporadic flowers. I wouldn't really stereotype women anyway because my wife is very uncommon from a lot of women. So, but I don't know what expound on that. You said don't assume all women do that. What is that you're talking about? The only thing my ex enjoyed doing with me was going to BDSM conventions, which is something I introduced her to. Shaking my head, yeah, yeah, not compatible, Joshua. That's all. Um, I think as humans, it's our desire to have some form of companionship. That's why you have homosexuals or whatever, because as humans, I think that it's our desire. Nobody really wants to be alone, whether you with your best friend or your brother, your cousin, your wife, your girlfriend. I think we have a need as humans for companionship, for someone to share life with, to experience life with, and no matter who it is. And so you know, they'll like just everybody is just not meant to be there, you know? Everybody's just not meant to be there. And we gotta life is experiences, man. We only learn from experience. How will you learn anything if you never experience anything? That's what life is. You have to experience the things you do want and what you don't want. Just establish things along the way. Like I said, nip it in the bud, man. Whatever you don't like, nip it in the bud. Alistair, you're a young man. You'll have many relationships from here on out. What's some things you don't like in a woman? I mean, like,
Man, I mean,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know women. All women don't do that sporadic violence. Go ahead.
right. But actually, okay. Well, there's plenty of things. The
Now, let's
trust.
start with three things. What's the main three things? Let's start with three things. I'm gonna show you something here. Give me your main three pet peeves that are no-nos. Deal
Trust.
off.
Trust.
So if she can't be trusted, number one.
Number two, I say is probably companionship, maybe. And number three will have to be, I don't know, maybe
Cheating, right? You don't want her going around fucking other guys, right? So I know cheating's got to be in there.
right.
Right. Okay. So let's start with those.
common. That's common. Cool.
Yeah. Right. Very. Very. In a monogamous relationship, sure. Sure. That's nagging. That's a good one, Raider. That's a good one. But let's start with. As a matter of fact, let's do that. I'm gonna take one of Raiders and I'll take two of yours. So I'll take cheating. I'll take nagging. And then what was your first one, Alistair?
Trust.
Yeah. Trust. Cheating, nagging, trust. Let's take these three here. Okay. So let's start with the trust. You build trust. You build trust from establishing these things that you guys when you guys come in to talk, and you're getting to know each other. You have to trust that they're going to, I guess, like at every level, like if they're off with their friends, if you give them money, if you rely on them, trust is just so many things in a relationship are considered trust. But trust starts with you, Alistair. This is the first thing I want you to realize. If you want trust, and this is for everybody else listening, if you want trust, trust starts with you. A lot of people's security level in themselves are so low is where they find it hard to trust the other. And it's not because of what the other does or what they may do. Sort of like Joshua's ex, right? Trust. This is a perfect example. She used to accuse him of cheating when he went to play when he went to a poetry recital. Now Joshua wasn't going to no poetry recital. I mean, wasn't going to cheat. He was going to a poetry. I'm pretty sure he used to tell her that he was going to a poetry recital. So there was a lack of trust there. Well, was it because of anything that Joshua had ever done? No, it was because of her insecurities. Because he was going to the damn poetry recital. So there was something in her that made her feel like she couldn't trust him. She had no reason not to trust him. None. So trust, I want you guys to know, trust starts within here. See, a lot of people that claim they can't trust their partner, they go looking for something. My granddaddy always told me, don't go looking for what you don't want to find. Don't go looking for what you don't want to find. Then you start building this. You know how many people have cheated on their spouse because they were constantly being accused of cheating? They never cheated on their spouse and they really weren't thinking about it. But because of their insecurities, because of the trust that was supposed to exist, the spouse didn't have that trust for them. And they continued to accuse them over and over and over again. It's like, fuck it, I'm a cheat. She accusing me anyway. And they drove them to cheating, right? They never would have done it though, if had they just trusted them. But they didn't trust them because of their own insecurities. They swore up and down. Joshua girl swore up and down he was doing something else. Didn't have to do anything with, I don't know, he was fucking women because of her own insecurity. So the trust factor, Alistair, just remember it starts with you. And I do agree there has to be trust. Let's move on to the second, nagging. Nagging, right? So Raider, let me put this link in the chat, Raider, if you want to jump up right quick, because I want to talk about that nagging. Raider says, and automatically gets trust from a woman. A man automatically gets trust from a woman. Yeah, the moment we start having inconsistency, yep, then we start losing their trust. That's a fact. Women are a lot more willing to trust men than men are with women. It's the men that always start doing, start being inconsistent. But that's not always the case too, because sometimes women and men as well have been burned before too. Burned real bad before already. You know what I mean? They gave their trust, they gave their love, and somebody burned them. And then it's because of them. Remember, this is why I was telling Alistair, remember, trust is in you. But because you've been burned before, you make it harder for the next person. I was guilty of that early on when she left me. When she left me, those other women out there didn't really have a chance. I didn't really give them a chance. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, but that's true. And we got to be consistent. But let's go back to the nagging, though. I want to go back to the nagging. Now, I always say this. When a woman is nagging, Raider and Alistair, you know what? You know what's consistent? And a lot of men will admit this too. When a woman is nagging, do you guys understand that often a guy is not listening? He hears her. He hears her all the time. It's about this, it's about that. But he's not listening, right? Because here's the concept. No one has nothing to complain about generally. A lot of times guys say the woman's nagging, they're giving her a lot of things to nag about. They ain't listening to the shit she's nagging about. She's just talking about this, this, and this. But if they ever stood back and looked at it, they're doing a lot of things that she's nagging about. They're causing this, right? And so the nagging, I'm going to take it again. Or even the woman on the other side, if she has this man that's nagging, that's always complaining about something. Oftentimes there is some things, because nobody can complain about everything. And there's nothing that you put into the table. It's either a lack of what you're doing too much of, which, you know what I mean? There's always something. So we have to find out, okay, where the nagging is coming from. Because any man that's getting nagged all the time. Let's talk about the guy that goes out and he works every day and comes home and all I want to do is come home, eat some dinner, crack a beer, and relax. You're always in my ear. Damn, as soon as I get home, just let me crack a beer. Well, that guy never thought about the fact that you wake up 4:30 in the morning, you go to work. You do have a hard day at work. Then you come home, and then you come home and you eat, right? And you may watch a game or watch some TV, and then you go home upstairs and you go to bed, and you do it all over again in the morning. Well, as that woman, I love you. I want some of your time. I want to sit up under you. I want to hold you. I want you to hold me as a woman. But that man that goes out and work every day, I just want to come home and drink my beer and watch some sports and chill. Goddamn, woman. And so you're never giving her that time, but this is your wife, the woman you supposedly love. Now, I know you got to work and take care of home and all of that, but do you not have to please your wife? Do you not have to hold her sometimes? Do you not have to spend that time with her? But all you want to do is come home and enjoy your beer in peace and watch sports. And then you wonder after 3 months of that bullshit why she's nagging at you.
Sports light still working?
Right? So you wonder after 3 months why she's nagging at you about that. Is it really nagging? Or is there something that you could have looked at yourself and say, you know what? Maybe I played a little part of that. See, the thing is this. When a spouse, whether it be the woman or man, is complaining, it's never nothing. You always hear one spouse say, oh, she always nagging about nothing. No, there's always something. Are you listening to what that something is? Or are you just calling it nagging? Always look in the mirror first, fam. And that's what I always try to tell people. And I'm not saying that there's a case where there is just not this naggy woman, because again, we talked about it. You might just have to separate from that person. She may be nagging because she got some shit going on. You ever notice that in a relationship, whether it be a woman and a man, that one of them is always accusing the other one of cheating, and then it comes out that they were the one cheating? That's why they was always choosing. You see what I mean? So it's not cut and dry. Sometimes if they're nagging, they may be lacking in some area themselves, and you may have to this ain't the one for you. Sometimes if they're accusing you, because they may be the guilty party. So we have to take all of this into account too. But don't ignore the signs. You understand what I'm saying? And also understand this. One thing I found out about women is that a lot of times women cheat for emotional reasons, bro. And it generally has to do with the lack of what that man is doing emotionally, time, not spending the time with them. Just like that husband I explained, right? They don't take them serious. They don't take them out on dates. Me and my wife got what we call Saturday. Exactly. We don't call it Saturday. We call it Saturday. Because on Saturday night, we got to spend time with each other, right? So, and if we can't do a Saturday night, we change it to Friday or Sunday. But any goddamn day that we can have open during the week that we spend with each other, because she's extremely busy. We got the business. Y'all fucking always talking to me, so y'all know I'm extremely busy. So we have to take time out for each other, right? So it is what it is, man. Joshua says, embarrassing me in public, being disloyal. Yo, for real. Nip it in the bud, fam. And those are the things I'm talking about, right? And then let's talk about embarrassment. So I really want to play on this real quick. Let's talk about embarrassment in public, okay? I want everybody to understand embarrassment is a state of mind. I cannot get embarrassed in public. People say, oh, anybody can get embarrassed. Let me tell you why I can't get embarrassed in public. I say it up here to you guys all the time, and I actually prove it. I don't give two shits what anybody thinks about me. I don't. So there's no way that I can be embarrassed. See? I can't, because embarrassment only comes from within. You feel embarrassed. You feel like, damn, this person just seen that. You're going to do all this in front of them. You're going to pull up on me in front of them like that, son? It's you that feel embarrassed. You
Damn.
can't be embarrassed.
Hey
So
D,
remember, it's a state of mind. Go ahead, fam.
can I chime in real quick?
For sure, for sure.
All right, bet. The only reason that I put the embarrassing me in public thing is the last ex, you know what I'm saying? The one I've been talking about most exuberantly. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? She embarrassed me in public. You know what I'm saying? I took her to a black tie fair. You know what I'm saying? And notice how I said she had tattoos on her face. She had Compton Crip, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I already know in my heart of hearts, I did the wrong goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? Because she wasn't meant for the public. You know what I'm saying? She was
Yeah.
for the streets, but she wasn't for the public. But at the same token, the way I'm looking at it is like this, bro. You know what I mean? Our dirty laundry don't need to be aired out in public. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, that shows that you have no respect for me at all. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Facts. Now let's dig into that a little bit. Because you did just admit yourself. You did just say yourself that Compton Crip, you know what I mean? That type thing. Right?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
rewind back to when I say, what is it that we truly want? Like in ourselves, right? Now you want a mate, you want a spouse, but you do also want a spouse that you can take around your crowd.
Exactly.
So stay out of the Compton and stop getting them Compton Crips, fam. You see what I mean? Because you lead yourself to you kind of leading yourself to where you're gonna hit a roadblock.
Hmm.
Or if you get that Compton Crip, then change your mentality about what's embarrassing. Be proud of that Compton Crip that you take to those events.
Right.
And it could be one way or the other. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
I
it
feel
won't
you,
be
bro.
embarrassing unless you remember. I say it's a mindset. It will not be embarrassing. You remember the movie Set It Off?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, so the bank owner, the one that dealt with Jada Pinkett, right?
Uh-huh.
He knew
Yeah.
she didn't fit into his crowd. He knew that,
Yeah.
but he was proud of her, right? So it wasn't no embarrassment to him for having her around all these rich, fancy bankers. It was cool because his mindset was that he wasn't embarrassed of her being here. And he even told her that, no, don't think that way. No reason for you to
Right.
think that way. Right. So
Right.
an embarrassment in most cases is here. It's a mindset. But if you're going to maintain that mindset, then don't bring that undressed girl to the party, basically.
I feel you. I feel you. I
You know
feel you.
what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
I already know I fucked up on that one, my dude. I will gladly admit that one to you. But
right.
at the same time, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I'm young, I'm gonna still make mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. It's experience. That's how we
I'm
learn in life. We got to experience it, fam. We got to.
yeah,
Sporadic flowers say you have to make sure men are trustworthy. You have to make sure people are trustworthy. Sporadic flowers, people. Men have to make sure women, and women have to make sure men. You know, Monkey said it's a beautiful thing when you meet someone and realize that they are everything you didn't know you wanted. That is special, Monkey. That is special. That happens when you've completely let go of all your toxins in previous relationships. Facts. That is something that prevents people from getting the relationship they want. Let me put that shit back up there. Monkey always talk to me about the things that you're insightful, dude. You be dropping some gems. Okay, it ain't
yeah.
just me. You be dropping some gems. So it's that second part of this that I wanted to talk about. That happens when you've completely let go of all your toxins from previous relationships. And I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. That's why I wanted to put
What's
that
up
back
with
up
it, my
there.
bro?
A lot of people have
You can hit this one,
these.
bro.
They have these.
Go there real
Um,
quick. Ding ding.
let me.
I know she would.
They have these fucking issues in their head from past relationships. They don't trust people because of how they've been burned from a prior boyfriend or prior girlfriend or prior husband or wife. They've been burned so bad for them, so they build up this distrust for other people. You have to release all of those toxins because this new person that you're meeting has nothing to do with that. They weren't the ones who burned you. They weren't the ones who caused you this issue. You understand? And Monkey's right. Unless you can release all of that, how can you build something new? It won't happen, right? Raider said, I can't jump on the R, my boy. Oh, okay. I can't jump on right now, my boy. I'm about to have dinner with. Oh yeah, no doubt. I need to eat something too. Checking their phone when it isn't unattended, looking at it, lock screen. Yeah, that's now. This is a big no. This is for everyone, and I gotta tell you guys, man. When we talk about you, when we talk,
Hey, D.
yo,
Hey, D, I got to log out for about 15 minutes. You going to still have the live up?
yeah, I'll probably still be here. All
I bet. I'm
right,
going to
fam.
go ahead and handle my business, and then I'm going to come back to you, my dude.
All right, do your
On
thing.
God.
Do your thing.
One.
So she said, checking their phones when it's unattended, looking at locked screen. Talk. Listen, this is stuff that runs people crazy. You don't remember when we started this, like when Alistair asked me this about trust. You can't be giving your trust if you're doing these things. You can't be. If you expect someone to trust you and you expect to be there to be trust in the relationship, then any of you that expect that cannot be doing these things right here. It doesn't matter if you get an inkling or if you get a premonition or intuition. You need to go to your mate and you need to talk to them, communicate. You don't need to play Perry Mason or fucking Inspector Gadget or whatever. You don't need to do that. You don't need to go rooting through their personal stuff because then you're evading their privacy. What if they were trying to surprise you with something and you went rooting through their phone and ruined the goddamn surprise, but you thought they was cheating and sneaking around, right? And then you'll feel bad because you ruined the surprise. But if you require trust, then you're not being trustworthy when you start doing these things. And if you have these inclinations or if you have these intuitions that they're doing something, then you need to go talk to that spouse. You need to talk to them. You don't need to start looking at their phone while it's unattended, sneaking into their email, sneaking into their Facebook page or whatever. My phone, you pick it up, you use it. You know why I don't fucking lock this goddamn phone? You know why I don't lock this phone? I don't got a goddamn thing to hide from my wife, bro. Not a goddamn thing to hide. And I'm not saying that people that lock their phones do have anything to hide, but if you are locking your phone, give your wife, your spouse, or whatever the code. If you have a lock on your phone and your spouse can't get into it, it shouldn't be that way. And I'll tell you that right now. No one can ever really explain to me why they should keep their wives or their spouses locked out of their phones. There's no reason for it. No reason for it. That to me builds up suspicion in a spouse. Why can't you use your phone? Why is it locked up? And at some extent, I don't blame them. Because like I said, if you're locking your phone from your spouse, if you expect trust, then give it. Don't lock your phone up from your spouse. Because when you're locking your phone from your spouse, then isn't there some expectation that they may sneak in or they may do something? And on the other note, don't be the one sneaking in. That evades the same trust that you desire. So don't do it. Right? Don't do it. Because respect begets respect. trust begets trust. You can't expect trust from someone if you're not willing to give it. You have to be, you can't expect to be respected by people if you're not willing to respect people. In turn, it's give and go, give and take, 50-50. Long live young. If she can't afford me, then I don't. Well, I'll say this. You know what you want going in. You want a woman that can afford you. Well, guess what? Long live young. There are a lot of women that want men that they make more money than, but there's a certain element that comes with that woman that you want. This is probably something else that you run yourself into. That type of woman has an element of control. Yeah, she can afford you, but she wants your dick when she wants your dick. She wants you to come and go when she wants you to come and go. Now, if you're not going to be that guy, then you're going to find yourself in a roadblock somewhere down there, along the way too. And you probably leave and go to the next one that can afford you. You constantly going to get on and off that train. I just want you to know that. Unless you're willing to be controlled. Because if you want that type of woman, just understand that she has the control and she'll pay for you and you guys will live happy and have like a good time. I'm pretty sure Stedman, Oprah's guy, he dealt with that for a long time, but he was like, hey, fuck it. She's a billionaire. She gives me what I want. I'll let her control me. That's what you want. Boston Nick in the building. What's up, Nick? He says, I'm a Mac and a pimp. Oh, okay. Well, that's what you want. So if you a Mac and a pimp, you don't want the relationship we talking about, fam. That's the thing. You're doing what you want. And if that's what makes you happy, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Relationships doesn't make everybody happy. Let's get that out in the open too, guys. Let's remember that. Relationships are not for everybody. Relationships doesn't even make everybody happy. Some people are not meant to be in monogamous relationships. This is why so many of them fail, because neither of them really wanted to be in a damn monogamous relationship. Long live young, want to be a pimp, a Mac, have plenty of girls, have them doing what you want to do. And there's plenty of girls out there for you, young Mac. They'll do exactly what you want to do, and you can pimp and Mac the hoes, fam. Because there are hoes that's ready to be pimped and Mac. And they out there for you, dog. So he is not the relationship type guy. Monkey Kung Fu said people need to understand that men and women deal with negativity differently for sure. Generally, women purge and men internalize. Yeah, and vice versa sometimes too. But yeah, yep, true. That's true, bro. Yeah, and vice versa sometimes in certain cases. Uh, But yeah, for the most part, that's good. That's good stuff, Monkey. Boxing monster in the building, just like us men. Yeah, man. Man, we got a whole lot of shit with us, dog. Martin Ramos in the building. What's good? Compton girls are the worst of them all. I don't know about Compton girls. Never been to Cali. They are loud, ignorant, at ghetto, and draw attention to prove they are alpha female. I'm glad I'm out of Compton. Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, then that's just most females in the hood. That's just the hood mentality. If that's, I mean, from what you just described, uh, what you just described, I mean, France onto is so many different hood rats that I've been around. The same shit. They're loud, ignorant. Now, guys, when I say hood rats, because I always have people that get so offended. When I say hood rats, I don't mean every woman that lives in the project. Before I have people coming in here screaming the fucking high heaven. If the shoe fits, wear it. This is what I say. So when I say these hood rats, I mean the ones that's in the hood that's acting like hood rats. No, that doesn't mean all of them. Now, go back to my statement because people get so fucking touchy about everything. Uh, those kind of girls, France, are in every fucking hood I've been to. I've been to Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Texas, New York, Maryland, Virginia, DC. Every hood I've ever been to, they exist. They're loud. They're ignorant. They act ghetto. They draw attention to prove that they're big shit. And that's a common thing. So I don't think that's just Compton girls.
And
I think
especially in
that's
New York.
what they call hood rats, especially in New York. Well, New York and LA is prominent for people with attitudes, fam. New York and Cali is prominent. Two biggest states with fucking attitudes, if you ask my opinion. At least I hear about Cali. I know for sure New York. My husband is loyal. My daughter is nice. And it all comes down to who I am and who I think I'll be in the future. That's it. That's facts. That's facts. And it sounds to me, Sporadic Flowers, like you're in a good place because you are happy with what you have. And that's the key. That's what we're talking about. All of this is talking about we have to look within ourselves and establish, who's the problem? Is it you or is it them? Or is there no problems? Right? Because there may be no problems. You or them may not be a problem. You guys may be doing pretty well, like Sporadic Flowers and her husband, like myself and my wife. You know what I mean? Chopstick says, do you believe some men let the right women get away? For sure. For sure. You came in a little late, but I almost let that one get away, dog. She left me for 6 years, bro, because I was fucking around doing all the wrong things, lying to her, cheating, just being a real piece of shit. And she left me. You know what I mean? And I ended up getting her back. I got lucky. But yeah, I believe a lot of men let the right one slip because we don't understand what it is we truly want. And that's why I wanted to talk about this. See, we have to understand what it is we truly want. Like my man Joshua, it just came on, he was talking, right? Now he want a woman and he want a certain kind of woman, but a lot of women look at him as a geek or whatever because of his interests. The art galleries, anime, poetry clubs. So they may look at him. So he want a woman and he wants a woman that he can bring to those things and be proud of those things. Well, maybe it's not the good idea to go looking for your woman in the hood, the Compton girl. Because the loud Compton girl is maybe not the one that you want to take to the art gallery, right? So don't set yourself up for failure. You see what I mean? Don't set yourself up for failure. And if you have a woman in turn that you can take to the art gallery that enjoys you, don't go running over there fucking that hood rat. You get what I'm at? Chopstick, and that's how a lot of guys let them get away because they have that woman. Then they go fucking with that hood rat. See, Chopstick, and now you see what I mean? You see what happened? They let that one get away because that's what they really want. So you have to decide what it is you want. That's why I said earlier too that the sex definitely matters. Because even if it's that woman that you can take out in public, if the pussy's whack and you can't pull her hair back and smack her on the ass, and she just laid there like a stiff fucking pillow, that ain't gonna work. Because you're gonna be creeping off into the hood to get one of them freak bitches that's gonna do all of that for you. And then that right woman could slip away. So you got to know what it is you want and don't settle. Compromise. Don't settle, compromise. That's the difference. When people settle, when they get into these relationships and they just settle, they're like, oh, well, I've been looking. I'm going to just take this. Yeah, she not this. She just this. No, go for what you want. If you want a fat booty and good sex, and she's attracted to you and she likes to go out, then go for the booty, good sex, attractive, and she likes to go out. Don't let her be attractive, like to go out, good sex. She got a flat ass, because later on down the line, that's not what you really wanted. And you're going to keep seeing fat asses. And guess what? Eventually, you're going to go for a fat ass. And the same thing with you women. If it takes a 9-inch dick to please you, don't settle for a 5-inch penis, bro. Because later down the line, it may not be what you want. If you don't want the 5-inch dick, then go after the 9. Settle with that one. That way you don't end up cheating on this dude. So we have to know what we want, but we have to actually also go after what we want so that we don't let that right one slip away. You know what I mean, Chopsticks? Can you trust a woman like Lorena Bobbitt? Sure. Sure you can. Didn't John Wayne Bobby cheat? Remember what I said, France? Remember what I said to Alistair? If you want to trust, you gotta be trustworthy, no? Maybe he could have trusted, right? Motherfucker was cheating though. He made sure he didn't cheat anymore. But if you want to be trusted, then you have to trust and you have to be trustworthy, bro. You got to give what you want, France. And obviously, John Wayne Bobbitt wasn't giving Elena Bobbitt. I think it was Elena Bobbitt too, but he wasn't giving. It might have been Lorena, but it was something like that. He wasn't giving her what she wanted. Monogamy. That's what he probably agreed to. That's what he lied to her and told her. And then so he expected to trust for whatever reason, but he wasn't giving, he wasn't being trustworthy. So that happened to him. Don't expect what you're not willing to give. If you want a loyal woman, you want a loyal man, then you fucking be loyal. Or don't expect it. If you want a trustworthy woman or a trustworthy man or a trustworthy mate, if you're homosexual, then be trustworthy. Right? You want loyalty, give it. You want respect, give it. You want trust, give it. But don't expect it if you're not willing to give it, because then you're causing your own problem before you start. Monkey Kung Fu says sporadic flowers. If you investigate your partner, it will just build distrust within yourself. Exactly. Especially if you're convinced they're doing wrong and you don't find anything. Right. Because it's like a fucking treasure hunt, right, Monkey Kung Fu? It keeps leading you to another fucking clue. That's what happens. It's like a goddamn treasure hunt. It keeps leading you to another fucking clue. And now that clue makes you interested. So you go find the next goddamn clue. No. Like my granddaddy told me, don't go searching for what you don't want to find. You don't really want to find the answers that they cheating. It's going to crush you. It's going to hurt you. So why are you searching for that? And you're being untrustworthy while you're doing it. You're not even giving what you're expecting. So it's just all wrong. That's all wrong. It goes all bad. Chain with Ice says you should still have a password, but they should know it. Facts. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that too. Because to cut my phone on, it comes up with this password. But yeah, my wife knows it. It's my birthday, so yeah, that's true. Because you might want to have a password if you leave your phone somewhere, or like me, you got oh excuse me, or maybe you got kids around the house. Well, I got one, but my 10-year-old, and I might have been watching porn or something, and I don't want her going into my phone. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit. So you may want to lock that. I don't want her to pick up my phone and bang, bang, bang on the damn phone. So yeah, I get it. But at least let your wife know that, or your spouse, your mate, your partner, whatever, know what the code is. Yeah, I'm with that chain with ice. Carlos Mendoza, what's up, my brother? Sporadic Flower said, we're talking about my stupid comment. Now, what stupid comment? Nobody's comments are stupid here. What are you talking about? It was a comment, not something offensive or super important. What comment? Who said your comment was stupid? Ain't no stupid comments here, Sporadic Flowers. Every comment is interesting. Was it meant to be offensive or upsetting? My apologies. Oh, she was talking to you. Ha! She was talking to you, monkey. I'm used to always catching the heat, monkey. You join the crowd. No, I know. I really seriously thought Monkey Kung Fu was being offensive. Sporadic Flowers. He's never on that kind of bullshit, like ever. Boston Nick says, shit, I'm only 4 inches. I'm fucked. Don't worry about it, Boston Nick. I said some of them want the 9. Some of them are just fine with the divine, the little time. Like, let me tell you something. And I'm not even talking about size. It's not important. But I've had women tell me that, oh, it's too much, too big. I can't do nothing. You be hurting my stomach, blah, 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 all of that. Some women don't want these great big 8, 9, 10-inch dicks, bro. That's just the facts. So you're 4, may be the score, fam. The winning score. It might be the winning score. Everybody, there's always somebody out there for someone else. Everybody don't want the long show. That's just the facts of the matter, bro. Or can they even take it? So you in there, you in the money, Nick, with your 4-inch Willie. Oh boy, I bet Wayne Bobby trusts her up until the moment. Hey, speaking of that, did y'all know that after the surgery, that his thing was use it for longer and it added length to it? Did you guys hear about that? In the end, she actually hooked him up. Yeah, it actually whatever the procedure was they used, it extended the length, and he's has more stamina. It lasts longer. How about that? So she cut it off and hooked him up. He's better action than he was before. Is that crazy or what? Yeah, are you into zodiac signs? I don't. I like to read them. I'm into them for entertainment purposes, Icy. So I kind of like them, and I like the thoughts because I like positivity, right? Icy, and I like fortune cookies, Chinese food restaurants, the little fortune cookies, the fortunes. I like certain messages. Certain messages are deep. And the thing with the zodiac signs, and then like the messages that comes out with them, if you follow them and everything, they're all that a lot of these explanations for your day is tied into universal law, right, Icy? And metaphysics and spirituality, the zodiac signs and the breakdown and the meaning day by day. It's tied into all of that universal law, metaphysics, and spirituality. And I believe in a lot of that. So I entertain the zodiac sign because there's things, the zodiac, because there are things in it that are relevant to my spirituality. That kind of brings it up for you. Right? I don't look at it as all fictitious, but I don't live by it either. Because some people actually live by that shit. Like, I gotta get the zodiac. Like, what does my zodiac say? And they go ape shit if they don't get the information. So I'm not die hard on that, but I do think that there's a lot of information in the Daily Post and the information behind the zodiac, the astrology factor, and so forth. How it correlates with the astrology and everything. Yeah, I kind of it's interesting and then for its entertainment value and it does tie into my spirituality too. But I don't like on the whole zodiac. I'll say that. I'll say that. Soul brother number one, what up, D? I would have loved to meet a nice, sweet girl, but I feel like I'm institutionalized from going after hobbies. Oh shit! You can always change, fam. That's fucking priceless. You can always change, dog. I I was like that too, dog, for a long time. And it's funny when I see things like that, soul brother, because again, that's why my wife left me. Like I was such a shit, bro. I was a real piece of shit, and I can acknowledge and accept that now. I was just no good when you concerning me and a monogamous relationship. For any of them women out there, I was a real piece of shit. Okay, because I used to tell them I was gonna be in this monogamous relationship, but I never planned to go in or anything. And so I chased a lot of those girls like that. And when I found her, I mean, when we separated, when she left me, it wasn't a separation. When she left me, and I searched for girls, all the females like her because I got tired of playing the field. I got tired of these bitches in their games, and I got tired of getting done to me what I had been doing to so many women, cheated on and all that type of stuff. I got tired of the energy coming back that I've been putting out there for so many years. And so I went on a hunt for a real woman like the one that I had, you know. And but while I was out there, I was just like you, kind of institutionalized, so to speak. I just wanted this quick fix, basically. It was like a drug addiction. Some broad that I could go lay with pipe them down and not put really a lot of attention into them, right? But again, it's all about what you want. I think at that time, that's what I wanted, right? And then so when you decide that's not what you want anymore, then you just have to go on a different path. I lucked out, guys, so I ain't acting like I didn't get lucky. I lucked out that this woman gave me another chance. Or I would have been fucked over. I probably would be single right now. Like he said. And she drove down the highway out the window. Yeah, she did. She damn sure did, bro. He's a lucky dude too, because they found it in that they found it off the stalks. It was in stalks, like it was high grass, bro. And they found this dude's penis, like, man. Yo, Lorena Bobbitt was a real card, bro. She was a wild one. I ain't gonna lie. You said 5 to 9, I'm fucked. It don't matter, man. It's some 2 and 3 year olds out there too, Nick. You know, they like the 2 to 3. What the fuck did I walk into? Something crazy. I actually just was talking about relationships, and we got into the. I was talking about the sexual part of it. I was just saying that some women don't like the long schlong, bro. If it's too big, like they can't deal with that. They can't handle it. It hurts them. Like I know women like this. Like trust me, I know I've met women that didn't want to have sex with me no more. And I'm not the biggest guy in the world. Trust me, I'm not. I'm no porn star. They wouldn't even want to mess with a dude like me. So fucking with one of those dudes you see on the porno, they would never fuck with dudes like that. And they were nice looking women. Trust me, if they weren't nice looking, I wouldn't have tried to deal with them. So some women, look, some men have great big dicks, right? Some women have deep wounds that can handle that. Some women don't have the wounds that can handle that. It's not like big dicks are not meant to fit into every woman, man. It's not. So some women can't handle that. Some women can. You know? No, I'm just joking. I'm hung like a hawk. I got Chinese to. I feel you, dog. Yeah, man. Courtesy is contagious. It is. It's so much as look, I was at this when I first came here to Columbus, they got this place here called oh, excuse me, Labor Ready or Labor Force or some shit like that. It's just a temporary agency. And so when we first came here, I was at that temporary agency, just getting some bread until I found something, a company, found some companies to work to pick up some work, paint and such. I was doing, temporary work through the labor force. And I used to go into there in the morning, 4:35, and people with their regular jobs just return calls, they just show up. But you had to be in there early if you wanted to get sent out on the job. And the atmosphere in there, when I used to go in there, was just terrible. Everybody was fucking mad, complaining, all of that. I used to come in there every single morning, and I would first start telling jokes to the people behind the counter. And everybody behind the counter loved me. They love me. I'll come in there every morning, start telling jokes, telling jokes. Then I would start messing with the people that were sitting around, just telling jokes, having fun. Every morning I would do this. When I first signed up for that place, and you walk into that environment in the morning, it was just abysmal. Everybody was mad. 2 months when I finally left there, because 2 months I had found some steady work, a few companies to pay through and everything, so I didn't need it. 2 months after I left there, it was a total different environment. People was like, "Hey, how you doing? What's going on?" Oh, man, they sent me to this place today, but I got out on that job yesterday. That was the environment in that place because that type of shit's contagious. You can come in there every morning, grumpy, man, fuck, it ain't never no job, blah, 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 blah. And that shit is also contagious. Positivity is just contagious as negativity. Respect is contagious. You ever notice how there's someone that's being really disrespectful, and then they notice that everybody else around them are not being disrespectful, so then they just automatically start acting nicer to people because it's contagious. They start to feel out of place. They start to feel like a total shit. Like everybody else around here is nice, and I'm being a real dick right now. And then they conform because that shit's it's contagious. Courtesy is contagious, man. It most certainly is. Before I met my wife, I felt empty. Now that I found her, I'm finished. Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney Dangerfield was fucking hilarious, bro. I told one joke on here the other day. He said, yeah, so I just flew home, came in off a show I did. And I asked the taxi driver, I said, hey, take me to where I can have some fun. He drives to my house. Oh, that's fun. He drives to my house. Oh boy, that damn Rodney Dangerfield funny as shit, man. He said, there's those instances where you make fun of fat girls bending up in the head. Oh boy, is that one of your experiences, Jay? I'd not be doing that crap. I don't talk about that. You made my sister stump during the Yes, this is not PG-13 sporadic flowers, and the longer you hang around here, you will understand that. This channel is not PG-13. We ain't even rated R. We rated triple X. You can hear anything on this channel, so it ain't for the weak or faint at heart. I'll tell you that, sis. That's for sure. If you were in a Bobbit situation and they could find your chicken, would you option for a dapper dick or a remain? I don't know, monkey. I don't know. What if the cadaver dick was a better fit? I don't even know, dog. That's a strange request. I would just hope that I'm never in that Bobbit situation and I don't need a cadaver dick because my dick was alive. I don't want no dead one. Just came back on. What the fuck? Talking about big dicks. No, man, yeah. It's just funny. It's no matter what you can come into. Now, I was talking about my man Boston Nick. He was just joking, saying he only got a 4-inch Peter. And I was like, that's okay. Some women like that. You know what I mean? Some women like them small. France, me and my wife promised to only smoke after sex. I've had the same pack since 1970. That's up to 3 packs a day. So she the only one fucking. Hey man, y'all hilarious, dog. Oh boy, she getting busy, ain't it, so brother? Oh man, fat girls equals more PEDs. Little remnant. Libidos, what's up, dog? He said, I didn't know the language barrier between me and a Filipino was gonna cause so much stress in my life, man. Language barrier can cause that. The language barrier can cause that. My man Gonzalo. Yeah, man. So, guys, I don't know, man. This is great, bro. I love talking to you guys about this kind of stuff. My wife was crying. You act like you don't love me. I said to her softly, oh, baby, it's not an accident. Oh, my goodness. That's too much. It's not an act. Oh, shit, man. All right, guys. I love you. Love you all, man. We've been here chatting for a couple hours. But just look, Alistair, give me some closing thoughts before I go, because I got something closing I want to say about all of this. But give me some closing thoughts, Alistair. Maybe what you take out of this conversation. Think you'll be in a better place to find you a nice young lady after this conversation now, Allison? You there, Allison? Or you sleep? All right. Maybe Allison went on hiatus. But anyway, guys, yeah, I just wanted to say this before we check out. And, concerning the relationships, and the question was, guys, if you've seen the title, is are we with the mate we really want? And if we're not, and why I made this thumbnail, who is the problem? Who's the problem? You, them, or both of you guys? And if you come to the conclusion that it's both of you guys, 9 times out of 10, this just might not be the right person. If you come to the conclusion that it's them, I advise all of you guys, what we started this with, look in the mirror. Because a lot of the time when you come to the conclusion that it's them, there's a lot of things that you've done that have also led you guys there. When we start to acknowledge the things that we've done and hold ourselves accountable, then we can repair these relationships that we are assuming that are broken. Because a lot of them are not broken. It's us that are broken. We're the ones that are broken. So you want to fix your relationships? Fix yourself. If you want to be with the right person, start off the right way. That's how I want to end this. And I appreciate all you guys coming through, man. Dude, I could go all day with Rodney Joe. Oh yeah, man. He's hilarious. Monkey Kong Fu, I love you, bro. Love you. Great stream. Best to you and yours. Peace all. Peace to you, Monkey Kong Fu. You're a great dude, bro. Very, very insightful. J4 Boxing in the building. What's up? What's up, fam? Justice for Boxing. Y'all check them out. J4B, MXBC. And J4 Boxing said Boston Nick is racist. I'm exposing him tomorrow. Oh my God. Nick, if you see that, Nick, if MXBC and Justice for Boxing come after you, pay them no mind. Boston Nick is nowhere near racist as Justice for Boxing. Stop that, bro. Y'all don't start going after my man Boston Nick. Y'all leave Nick alone, dog. Feel like I'm a better person for watching DJ. Peace, everybody. Peace to you, soul brother. I appreciate you, dog. Frontside too, soul brother, funny as hell, bro. Much love. Much love to all you guys, man. Justice for Boxing, MXBC. Y'all leave my man Boston Nick alone. Y'all know how I always in this thing. For the love of sports, let's talk about it.